May 8th?
Yep.
The 8th day, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
May 8th, 2025, special work session regarding budget. This meeting is limited to budget discussions only. And let the record show that Councilman Norman, Councilman Gilroy, and Mayor Gregory are present. Councilman Warren and Councilman Nelson at this point are not here.
Decide on that one? Okay.
Okay, I'm turning the meeting over to Councilman Gilroy.
Yeah.
Let's go over revenue first. It's a sheet I sent out last night. It just goes through some rough numbers.
Don's here. Don's here.
Hey there.
Let the record show that Councilman Nelson is present.
Are we looking at this or
No,
the one you
I sent a
emailed?
sheet last
Looking
night
at
that looks
this.
like that.
Do I have that?
It came in an email.
You guys need to share?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So here's what I did, just to get a rough idea of where we are. I went through the projected general fund expenses based on the one-on-one meetings I had with everybody, okay? And then I worked the salary sheet, okay, using the current salaries. I didn't, because we don't have anything from Central Pines, I didn't increase anybody. I did though increase health, okay, and also the retirement. We can come to that in a minute. But if you look at the general fund, it shows a total expected expenses of basically $1,479,600, with a projected surplus of $444,000. Okay? Now we're gonna go through revenue separately. In the water fund, I've got projected total expenses $365,323, projected surplus $10,677. Okay? That's one thing to keep in mind. Then the second thing, how many spreadsheets am I on here?
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
In the water fund, we still have that well that has not been fully
Yeah.
paid for.
Yeah,
Those numbers, if it's not closed out by June 30th,
they need to roll.
are gonna have to
They're gonna
roll.
Yep, they're gonna roll, yep, okay. Then, can you guys pull up the salary spreadsheet real quickly?
I have it here.
Okay, so, I need to work with Jody on the overtime for the cop shop, but I updated everything to show a general increase in retirement contributions on regular workers, 14.42%.
Yep.
Leos are now 16.08%.
Now, those are the rates that we just received, right?
Just,
Yes.
just.
Yep,
Okay, and what I did was, I took people's names out of here and just made them positions.
that's fine.
Okay, except for David McHugh. The admin assistant, I put back in at 32,000. Alright?
Okay, yes.
So I don't have
Oh, there it is.
part-time in there, I just put it in at full-time. Janet, I took your pool attendants and put them in as seasonal.
Yeah.
I did push them up to 30,000 though. Just so we cover ourselves, cause I don't know what we're gonna pull for $12 an hour, I don't know. You got anybody yet?
Nobody.
Okay, alright, then the other thing I wanna point out is this. The medical is gonna change. We're gonna stick with First Carolina Care through the end of the year. Lisa made a really good point. If people have paid their deductibles, it's not
Yep,
very nice to
yep.
switch on them in July, right? And when, Janice and I and Lisa met with, what's the guy? Jim Johnson?
Jim,
The insurance
yeah.
broker. He indicated a 7.1% increase in First Carolina Care, okay? We're working through the HILB group through the league. That'll keep the dental division and everything basically the same. Then, when we looked at the plan we'll need to pick up before the end of the year and probably make a decision by the end of September, it will be up a little bit more. So I just kind of melded those numbers together. It came out at like 848 something per employee. I bumped it up to 850, and that's what you look at for the medical and the Hill group.
So that's the 10-2 annual charge. $10,200 per employee.
Yep, exactly.
Per, okay.
Hang on one sec.
For medical, for all insurances.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, and I'm hoping.
And you have
that's-
life in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because all those things come packaged from the,
That's
from
from
the league. Well, you said, it's coming, it's the ones where Lisa went out, somebody brought us, the Hill Group has agreed to take over the league's portion where they're dumping.
That's the hill that we have so far. The
Yeah.
medical, we have not.
No, medical, no, we've not.
We haven't
Okay.
made any final decisions
No,
on
we
yet.
haven't. No, but we are locked in for the next, from July through December.
Well, with the current
Yeah,
rates,
yeah,
right.
okay. So, when that's all said and done, and you look at the total, you got $610,084. And that's before we start talking about increases. Now, I will tell you, I talked to Jody, she reviewed all our stuff, and she said we are very comparable to similar sized municipalities with the exception of the bookkeeper, which she thought was a bit low. Then I said, well, what about our benefits packages? She said, you're pretty comparable. It was difficult for her to compare the water technician because the only other comparable sized town she works with is Cameron, and they do theirs by contract. So we're gonna have to get that from Central Pines. Okay, so that's where you're showing the salaries, okay? So,
Okay.
any questions on that?
Nope.
Good. But it's a fair amount of change, I mean.
Yeah, 600.
Well, when you look at the percentage of our revenue to salaries, that's where I had thought, we have that reserve fund for employee, it's not a reserve fund, we have that set aside for employee
We do,
compensation.
I agree, we
What
do.
I think we should do as a model is when, we should take our total salaries between water and administration and police, compare it to our tax revenue and our water revenue, and when
Set a
that,
percentage?
when it hits a certain percentage, we flow over to the compensation fund, as long as the compensation fund can support it. If the compensation fund can't support it, we either need to raise taxes or we need to go into our general fund. But to be borrowing from our general fund
That's a,
for
yeah,
employee
very bad idea.
compensation,
That's not a good idea.
it's really a
I would,
tax.
yeah.
We
that-
really have
yeah.
to, that's why I'd like to
Yeah.
make sure we're reserving in that employee compensation
Yeah.
fund. That's the only way we're going to,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to take that, I still think we should take a portion of the sales tax money and put it in a set aside for employees, cause that's kind of free money to us, the sales tax. You know, it's not a burden on the taxpayer.
well, yeah, and at some point, and we won't do this lightly, we're gonna have to raise taxes. We can't, at the rate we're going right now, I mean, we're okay, but at some point, because I'm gonna be pretty strong about we need a public safety reserve and stuff like that, so that when we get capital things from the fire department 5 years from now, we've already got whatever we think our portion is gonna be set aside. I mean, I think we're fine for this year, I don't, you know? Okay, now let's go, so those two things are out of the way. Let's go over and start in the general.
So what is the percentage, if we do the math, the percentage of employee compensation to revenue? Do we know?
Hold on 1 second, and I can tell you.
How much percentage, 125,000?
Excuse me?
How much is in that fund? Employees compensation?
I don't have the reserve number
I think
here.
it's
125,000.
125 versus revenue.
No, I mean employee compensation versus our revenue. What's that
Okay, so our
percentage?
projected revenue, all right, and we're gonna go through and massage this a little bit, cause I may be a little too optimistic, but our projected revenue, 1,923,900.
That's total between the two,
Is that water and everything?
That's just the general fund,
This is general fund?
yep.
1,923,900.
I thought, oh, those are expenses. All right, right.
1,923,900.
I see it. So let's say 1,923.
Yep,
Plus, we've got the 376 for the water
Yep.
fund.
Correct, so we're about 2, 3,
What do we have?
about 2, 3.
So, yeah, I would say this didn't work the way I wanted it to.
so basically, if you take the water fund in there, we've got $2.3 million.
Yeah.
Why isn't this?
2, 3.
And I got 610. You're running 26.5%.
Okay, that's not bad. It's comparable to what other,
Yeah, it's not bad, but remember, we haven't done anything about,
increases.
I was gonna say, what I used was flat from last year, because
Right.
there's no, I'm not in a position to know what that's gonna be.
I mean, I think once we hit 30, that's
Yeah.
excessive,
That's, yeah.
now we're
Yeah.
hitting,
Yep,
okay,
I agree.
all right, so,
Okay.
okay.
So can we roll over to, I'm gonna go through the revenue first, and then Janet will kick over to you, okay? So if you go through the general fund, all right,
Mhm.
and this is the one I sent out,
Mhm.
I think it was like a week ago.
That's this sheet.
That's this one?
I don't have that.
No, it's this sheet.
I don't have that, I just got this one.
It came in an email.
Okay, I guess I just didn't print all of your,
Well, this one, I mean, I did this
Attachments.
like a week ago. If I,
Do
shoot,
you want me to go make,
well, hang on a
copies?
second. Did you print yours landscape or portrait? Portrait?
it's the way it was,
No, really?
it's the way it was formatted on mine when I received it. It is portrait, but it's all on one page.
Okay.
here, I'll go make copies.
It's double-sided.
Yeah. What do I need, 4?
So next time, do I need to bring copies for everybody?
Be a good idea.
Yes. I got a staple in the rack.
Here, you want the water too? Might as well. Even though we probably won't get to water, but
Well, and without Warren here, we're gonna, I don't know.
we're gonna have to make
We're gonna have to make some
decisions.
decisions, so,
We'll make them for him.
We'll have to. So current salaries to future revenue,
26 and a half.
now I did, when I was at the, commissioners meeting,
Did you go?
I did go.
Good. Tell me that resolution didn't have legs.
Oh, it did. They are starting their insurance as of July 1st. They're doing their Blue Cross Blue Shield as of July 1st.
Interesting.
I just, not that I propose that we're doing that, but I don't know if they're carrying over,
I don't know, they got a big group.
well, there's kind of they're self-insured,
Yeah.
and then I think the
Yeah.
excess goes to Blue Cross. It kind of sounded that way to me.
Interesting. Yeah, we don't have a lot of flexibility.
No, not with a small group.
Yeah. Can I start on this, you think, while Janet's making those copies?
What do you wanna start on?
Let's look at revenue first. In the general fund. Well, you guys don't have it, so it doesn't matter. I guess we'll just wait.
Put it on my phone. If I can find it.
I'll wait. Well, okay, speaking of, budget, we need to get with the fire department. And a couple interesting things came up at the budget meeting I was at. Overall, fire funding took a 31% increase last year.
Yeah.
Across the board, and of course, we felt that. The commissioners suggested to them that they use the consumer price index. Well, the fire department came back with another 6% increase. And Eric has proposed to us a multi-year contract based on CPI, which I don't think we ought to do. And when we talk with them, there are two things that need to be considered. One, we're gonna need to find out if they had extra personnel money. And that's not quite been, there's $330,000 floating out there someplace, but they haven't quite nailed it down.
Well, we have their audited financials, and I did go through their audited
Okay.
financials, and I wanna go through that with you.
Okay, good,
But they did not spend,
right, exactly.
and we already know, and I'd like this to be on the record, that even though we're paying
We're not
for
getting-
24/7
Yeah.
coverage here, and people were very adamant that we
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
We are not getting 24/7 coverage in that
Yeah.
firehouse.
The
And I
other
just want
thing-
people to be aware of
The other
that.
thing we did last year that I would recommend we don't do this year is pay on that truck. That 12,000 and some $12,000 and some dollars, where the letter we have clearly says that we're not responsible for that.
That's
And
right.
the third thing is this, And Paserno brought this up, and he was very respectful about it, but he said, I'm disappointed. They got a grant, the fire commission got a grant to pay for workman's comp and never told the county, so they double dipped them. And that, you know what, I get that they applied for a grant, but with me, that's an integrity issue. Now, you just took double money, and you didn't tell anybody.
Is this just West End, or is it at
All across the board, yeah. Yep. So we're gonna have some interesting things.
Well, I got another one.
Thank you, Janet.
You're very good.
Oh,
Alright, this shouldn't take too long to roll through.
okay, we're gonna go through revenue now.
Okay,
General fund?
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So based on the numbers that they gave us, our 26 ad valorem taxes would be $897,376. Motor vehicle, $87,174. I left sales tax at $500,000. You can add $37,000 to that. Oh, let me look it up, hold on a second.
To the 30, the
Yeah, hold on,
391.
let me be really smart when I say that. Yes,
I heard they, North Carolina did a boom job in tourism this year.
probably with the open. 464 plus 37,000, because 37,000 is what is the payout for March that will come in May. So we're gonna be over 500,000, but the question becomes, do we really think we're gonna pull in 500,000 next year? And I'll tell you what, I'm with you. I mean, if we put that in as a solid number, and the economy blows, there's so much going on, I mean, and people pull back and they don't spend, then we're gonna get hit.
Well, and there's no open this year,
No,
or
there's
next year coming up.
No,
And
there's not.
There's,
And actually, we didn't pull that much more because of the open, the way I'm looking at it.
and we probably wouldn't, because most of that would go to, Southern Pines, Pinehurst.
Yeah, but that's not how they do it. They do it by
No,
population for the
we get
county.
the same percentage
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's all spread
It's-
around.
Yeah.
Well,
percentage.
we're only 14.
1444, so,
Right.
right, exactly,
Right.
yeah. So, I don't know, we wanna take that down to 475, we wanna take it down to 450.
I think we should take it down to 400. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
I think that's too much. I think we'll pull
Yeah,
450.
I think you're gonna see about the same revenue because everything is going up in price.
But people gotta buy it.
Well, they'll be they gotta buy it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna go down hardly at all.
I think liquor sales are gonna go way up.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't go more than 450, and I would go
I
less
say
than
450.
I go 450.
Make it
All right.
450 then.
All right.
Be on the safe side.
450.
Well, and if we're low, then fine. It's much
Right, it's
easier.
free, it's
yeah.
free money.
Okay,
We-
so.
When do we find out approximately what we're gonna be getting for that?
It comes out every month. So, for example, you can add another 37,000 onto that 464, because that's the sales tax
For,
for March.
March.
That gets paid in May. I just got notice on it this week,
so
okay?
they're always 2 months behind?
Right, so
Okay.
we'll get sales tax that April distributions will be paid in June. So we might, if April, I gotta go back and look at April of 2024, because I don't know off the top of my head. We might hit about, you could hit, February was 55,000, and then March is like 37.
Mhm.
But last March was only 34, so that, I was like, okay, maybe people won't spend in March, I don't know. Maybe they get their tax refunds in February, who knows? But, I mean, you could potentially pull 550,
Oh, yeah, cause
Maybe a little
you're at
more.
501 now.
yeah.
You take the 464
Yeah.
to 37, you're
Yeah.
501, you got one more month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could
I would-
probably,
I would still leave it at 450.
Yeah, I would.
okay, let's move on.
Alright, a couple other things still, they pay quarterly, and I'll keep an eye on those. Permits, we did over 15,000 this year, I was hoping Lisa would come in this afternoon, I'm wondering if that's too optimistic for next year.
Well,
We got
I'm thinking-
22,000 this year.
our building permits are only 400,
Yeah,
so.
And that slowed down quite a bit.
yeah. So you can see, I mean, if you go from 2021, you know, they were screaming, and then last year they fell off, we're a little bit over budget, I don't know.
Probably better go about 10,
7,500,
down to 10.
but where's it gonna come
Well,
from?
the 1422, the actual year to date, that 14,225, and I know it's more than building permits, I know there's pools and all that stuff,
Mhm.
but.
But that stuff isn't, it's not a lot
It's
of
not
money.
a big money maker.
I know, I'm just dividing that by the 400, and you're looking at 35 homes, basically. So maybe,
I don't think we're gonna build.
No, we're not gonna be doing 35 more homes in
or
25.
permits, let me put it
Or
that way.
permits.
And I don't think 15's gonna float.
10?
Better cut it back a little bit.
I would say if we're looking at 10,000, you're looking at 25 homes.
I still think that's a lot.
I still think that's
Plus
high.
food, fences, all that. 10
Well-
would be,
You know, the permits for fences and stuff, those don't add up to much.
They're hundreds of dollars, you know, not a lot.
$8,000.
make it 8,
8,
make
okay.
it 8.
Okay. Let me just go in there.
Wow, we got 65 for Powellville money?
Well, yes, we did, and I was like, dang, that's pretty good.
But I thought I read that they're cutting Powellville
Where'd you read it?
in either the league or one of those, that they were proposing possible cuts, but
Should we leave it at 60?
I'm wondering if we should leave it at
55.
50.
Really?
Well, here's the thing, it pays in September and December, so you know pretty quickly whether you can increase it or not. We could leave it at 50, I was just kinda going, wow. They give us every single year, we've been up.
Yeah.
It's a combination of population and mileage of non-state roads, and then it just depends upon how the state decides to fund it.
Right,
What, leave it at 60 or go to 50?
I think we should go to 50.
50,000.
I would.
50,000. All right.
It's kinda like an auction. Only
Yeah.
different.
It's sold,
So,
Sold at 50,000, okay, moving right along. Interest on investment, okay, John Fry confirmed for me an email that the current rate on the capital management trust is 4.2%. And we are running, and you saw that the Fed they held them straight, they didn't do
Right,
anything. So right now, we're at
It's 425, you said?
4.2.
4.2.
or 2.
Yep. And I didn't bring his plot with me, I know they expect to be lower by the end of the year. You got 3.243 million in there right now on us.
I think the rates are gonna go down to like 325 or 3.
35, yeah.
But they're saying they really should be at 325, if I'm not mistaken, that's what I heard.
Just depends upon whether Jerome Powell will actually take them there.
Well, I think sooner or later, he's gonna have to, it depends what happens.
Yeah.
But
That's a
if
crapshoot.
it does go down, it'll probably be around maybe 350 or 325.
Probably a point.
yeah.
I don't think we'll go a point at
Well,
once.
it's 4.2, it'd probably go down to 3.2.
Okay, based
Or
on what we've got
3.5.
in there now, I think you can take it down to 110,000.
You said what rate are you using?
4.2, if I do 4.2, and I would anticipate putting more funds in there, you know, like after we get our,
Taxes.
tax,
Yeah.
yeah. If you took it at 4.2% and ran it against 3,243,000, I got 136,000.
Yeah, that's about right.
So if you go it at,
Do it at 3.25, 3.5,
I'm 3.5, yeah.
times 3 is 90,
It's 105,000.
okay.
I say 110,000.
110, yeah.
I think that might be,
110.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So we have to go through all these
ABC
pages
revenue.
before we get to
Okay,
me?
pool fees.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
I
guess.
just, well, I
Where are we?
guess,
It's on the back page, right here, pool fees.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay.
I just used what we had before, anticipating that it'll be a blowout year, cause it was because we were closed last year.
You can use that.
Does that work? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Park fees, I put it $750. Again, just looking at, you know, you got playground equipment up there and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not the best judge of that.
Okay, which one again? I was
Park
just,
park fees.
I was just thinking here.
And it's a small number, I mean, it doesn't, 750, 500,
Yeah, I
whatever
would
you
say
want,
leave it there, leave it.
I'm saying 500.
okay?
5,
500, okay.
Sold. Okay, okay, I took 100,000 out of the street reserve and gave it to you.
do you have pricing for your,
Yeah, I already gave it to you.
and is it 100,000?
What did I give you? Oh, I can tell you. Yes.
Yeah, so I just transfer 100,000 out of the street reserve.
Okay,
Okay, and then we took 50,000 out of the police reserve for a new vehicle, right?
yeah. I have, something, I don't know where or if you want to address this, but if we do a storage building here, a storage facility, I've got pricing of basically, let's see, depends what size we go with.
You know, can we do that in admin?
We can, it just would be a revenue out of the general fund, or capital reserves, I would think, capital improvement reserve. Cause it's gonna
Right.
be around, depending on how we do it, 5, 6, it'd be about 75 to 8,000.
$75,000?
7,500.
I was gonna say, damn,
I was gonna
say,
that's quite the building!
You ain't getting that building.
75 to 8,000.
Okay.
So anyway,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say no.
How much was it?
well, with the pad and with the site, the building itself, depending on the size, is around anywhere between 4,500 and 5,000.
They have
Are you-
marble bathrooms at
Yeah,
75,000?
yeah, I
Okay.
know.
So
Wait, are you
one-
gonna put it on a cement pad?
Have to,
Okay,
because it's over 12 feet in one.
okay, well then I can get you a price on the cement.
I did get a price on cement from Bruce.
Well, I can get you one from Brad.
Yeah, he never called me back.
Well, then you didn't have me calling.
I don't like it that he didn't call me
Okay,
back.
How
so
much
we would
size
take
did you
it,
get,
take it from
buildings
capital
included?
reserve,
I'm sorry, what?
capital reserve.
It would come from capital reserve.
What size pad are you looking at? I'll get a price.
Well, I don't know, because we haven't decided on the size of the building. And the
Okay.
pricing changes, and we'll wait for admin to that and
Yeah.
see.
Guesstimate.
It's either 10 by 16, it's probably a 10 by 16, I think 10 by 20 is larger than we need.
You might wanna go 12 wide though, because I got a 10 and it's not wide enough.
Yeah, 10's not very big.
Because we're talking about putting stuff from the office in there, and the police department, and the water department, so it's gonna need some width to get some storage in there.
Most of these are 10. Anyway,
Well, you can get them 12, it's not a problem.
you know
Okay,
what,
so-
if we put 10,000 in there, we would be under budget.
So wait a minute, so 12 by what?
16.
12 by 16 probably.
Okay, I'll get a price for a cement pad.
Okay, so are we going 8, 9, or 10,000? My theory is that we put 10,000 in, we'll spend right to 10,000.
Do 10, but I don't think it won't be 10. I don't think we need to spend that much money unless we.
You mean total? Or just for the building itself?
No,
No,
total,
everything.
total.
Okay. Well, when you guys are doing that, I'll text him.
So it would be transfer from the capital,
Capital
Right,
reserve.
right.
Okay, alright. Okay, I'll rework the numbers and give you new rev, okay? But not right this second. Let's move into, we wanna go to the pool,
Yeah?
okay? Let me see what's comes up first. Let's do streets and roads, that's next up.
Oh, 12 by 16.
Okay, streets and roads.
Yep. So for landscaping the town hall, Janet, I'm gonna go through what you gave me.
Okay, hang on, where are we?
Streets and roads,
Okay, well, what page?
Oh, page 8.
Thanks.
Page
I was
8.
sending a text.
Page 8.
I'm there now. Okay.
landscaping the town hall, these are the numbers that you gave me, so it's 6,000. Landscaping the east entry, 6,400.
Yeah, if you put in everything I gave you,
Well, we're gonna go through it. Paving, we pulled 100,000, okay? Road main PD, is that patching?
No, Powell
Powell
bill.
bill.
Oh, Powell bill for 3150. Snow removal, we put it 2,000, maybe we won't have to use it. Powell
Not.
bill patching, 1,000, crack boring, Powell bill, 5,000.
What are we paving?
We are doing, what road, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
We are doing Pine Ridge Drive off of Woodland Circle.
Okay. Okay, second.
Okay, Mike, I always ask this question,
Uh-huh.
and we have patching Powell bill, and then we have patching. How do we know which one to put it under?
it should go under Powell bill, because when you do your Powell bill reporting,
Right,
you have to say not only what money you received, how you spent it, but you also have to tell them what else you spent money on, so that you're not, so you're upkeeping your roads in general.
Okay,
So that's why
Okay,
all
but-
of this stuff would go into,
then this, 40, well, that was in 2022 budget. Okay, so we really, do we need to keep 3150 under patching as opposed to putting under Powell bill? So that when I do,
3150 is under Powell bill.
no, the patching is 3150, Powell bill 573 is 1,000.
I don't know why they have two separate ones, unless for some reason they were patching something that didn't qualify for Powell bill expenditures. Cause there's a whole method
To
of
do
what's
it.
allowable.
Okay, so, this is one of the reasons why, when I'm doing the patching, I don't put in the budget line item, because I'm not sure which one to put it in. So someone's been putting it in,
The wrong spot.
yeah,
They should be putting it in the power bill one.
This is just I mean, this would, depending on what it was, it would get included or would not get included. 'Cause
Okay.
It's still street
Okay.
maintenance.
Yeah.
okay,
So, I don't know why
I think you're
they're,
okay, I don't know why, there's a lot of stuff in here on general ledger accounts, I look at it and I go, WTH, what the heck?
well, you have to realize that this is from, you know,
Years and years ago.
Years.
yeah,
Needs to be policed.
yeah. Okay, so let's keep
I'll
going.
put that right on my list, Don, okay?
You're
Okay.
good, you're good at policing.
Street signage, 2,500. Mowing the state roads, 7,400.
Yep,
Mowing on Powell bill, 3,500.
yep,
Okay, road traffic signs $1,000. Storm removal Powell bill, I'm just assuming that that's things falling in the road,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yep.
1,500. We got 12.5 for streetlights. And that's in the village and in Pineland Preserve?
yes,
Okay, alright. Maintenance collection center, that would be what I call the wood dump, right?
that is, okay, so this is streets and roads. So we have maintenance collection at the yard waste, and we have maintenance collection here at the village hall. We have maintenance collection in the summer at the pool
what, and the park, right?
and the park. The
So
pool
that-
is seasonal, the
Right.
park is annual, it's all year. So are we, because I'm not responsible for putting this in there, I think Shannon is now separating.
Well, she details she
Right.
details it, yeah.
And I
definitely.
asked her when we started, we asked Meridian to give us, excuse me, separate billing for the
Yes.
yard waste.
Yep.
Separate billing
Yep.
for the village hall.
Yep.
And separate billing for, the park and pool.
And they
They
do.
do.
Yes.
They do it based on address.
Correct, so that's how we're getting it now, but are we putting it all into this?
Well, there would be really no other place to put it, would there?
Right, no, there wouldn't, unless you wanna separate out yard waste. That's the only thing that you would ever wanna do, because that is obviously a very large portion of this.
Correct,
So, that's the only thing I would suggest, if we ever wanted to separate out.
And for the time being, if we're okay with it, she can just pull the numbers.
okay, but here's the question, because of this 13, keep in mind, we're going to $200 a ton, and so it's gonna double.
Okay, so when you gave me your number, did you include that or no? Because that's,
I don't think you did.
I don't think
I
they
think it's
did.
gonna
Then
be
you need
about
to give me a new
25,000.
So, but, I wanna give you a number just for the yard waste. I'm gonna have to figure out what that cost, and we're doing really well, we're almost done with the year, so I can guesstimate what the next few months are gonna be. But that's why it would be nice if we had a separate description code just for the yard waste.
we may or may not do that, depending upon what else we get into, but if you've gotta up that number,
We're going to have
yeah,
to.
we can always put the description code in later and move the money.
Alright, well, tomorrow I'll sit down and go through the invoices that I
Okay.
got from Meridian.
You know,
And-
I think, no, I'm just thinking that, considering that this cost is now gonna double.
Yeah, well, and you never know, it's getting full more often.
Well, that's why I'm thinking, maybe we do wanna add a yard waste,
Yeah, I really strongly suggest we do that.
and just have like, instead of maintenance collection, we can do maintenance collection trash and maintenance collection yard waste.
Yes,
And that way we know, cause the trash is gonna be
similar.
maybe a couple $1,000s.
Right,
At best. But the yard waste is going to be probably tens of thousands of dollars, and I think people need to see that, you know, what their tax dollars are paying for.
Okay.
Well, we probably better take that 13 up to about 26.
well, again, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
what-
just to get some numbers.
Yeah,
now.
I agree. And, you know, the sad part is, it is having to be collected more and more often.
Yeah.
And I even have that red one up there now for yard
Well,
waste.
Let's just change it right now to 25, and then you
Well, but we
can,
wanna split it.
well, we will split
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, we
I'll
will.
get the numbers tomorrow, and then I'll get you I'll get you the additional numbers.
So this needs to increase.
So this is a question mark.
Okay, so maintenance collection yard waste and maintenance collection trash, right?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Maintenance collection instead of center.
Yeah.
we-
Well,
Well,
we'll
you're-
change center to yard waste.
If we can do that, I don't know that once you get into FMS, you can do that stuff.
I think you can change the name. If you can't change the name, well, if you can't change the name,
Then
you
we'll
need
just
to
know, well,
talk to Jody
yeah,
and see
here's
how
the
she
thing.
wants to do
If we
it.
put maintenance collection center,
That's
we can make
everything
that-
but.
that, we can make that the yard waste.
You wanna make that one the yard waste?
Well, yeah, it's already there, and then we can do a separate one for
For trash.
maintenance collection trash.
Okay,
Alright, hang on.
that'll be easier.
Well, as long as, I still think we should probably, cause everyone knows it as yard waste.
Yes.
So like our
That's fine,
council,
but here's the thing, I don't wanna create a separate GL account if we can use collection center, if we can't change it.
ask Jody if we can change
You can't
that
edit-
name.
You can't edit the names of those?
I don't know if, I don't know.
Why
if
couldn't
or not.
you?
Should be able.
You have to be careful how you do it for auditing purposes,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
because
Yeah.
Yes.
No
So-
problem for a group.
we,
Or would it be easier just to create two new
No.
and delete this one?
you
We
can't delete them.
You can't,
You
yeah,
can't?
no.
Oh.
no. That's why sometimes when you say make a new general ledger account, I go, no, because we have so many of them. So I think if we leave.
Is that why we don't take off the Woodland Circle survey?
No,
Some of
because
them will go through and if there's, we haven't had any action in them, I don't know what the time period is, we can make them inactive.
right,
And we need to do that, that's just not a high priority for me right now.
Okay, but that's one that needs to come off.
Okay, fine.
The,
Here's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave it maintenance collection center,
Okay,
that's the yard waste, we'll add maintenance collection trash.
okay, but can you ask if you can change
Yes, I
maintenance
will,
collection center
but
to
for
yard
today's
waste?
discussion,
Correct,
that's
okay.
what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Alright,
Away we go.
Alright. Second.
okay, so some of these items under,
Okay, we're gonna keep going down in order if you don't mind, okay?
yeah, that's fine.
Street markings, we have at 3,000. Grading and seeding on the Powell bill, we have at 1,000. I don't know what that is,
well, in case we had to seed or something a side of a road.
Yeah, yeah, miscellaneous.
but drainage at 4,000. Maintenance, labor and material, 10,640. Janet, what does that include?
Wait a minute, what's the number?
4510, 596.
Wait, let
It's
me
on
get
page
there.
9.
I know, but I gotta go to a different page. Hang on, what's the number?
596,
40, what's the first?
4510,
4510, 5,
Maintenance,
96.
labor and material.
okay, that falls under his, that's Ricky,
Okay, alright, got it.
that's why I have to go to this one. That stays,
For what though? For,
it's under streets, mowing the streets and everything.
okay,
Okay, so mowing the streets, so he's gonna continue to mow the easement?
No. No, that's not included in his contract, in these numbers. We took that out.
Okay.
The only easements he will do,
are Richmond and Hoffman?
yes, and I'd asked him if he's riding along and he sees a lot, that's an empty lot, and the weeds are growing up on the
Clean it
side
up,
of the road,
yeah.
clean it up.
Yeah.
But that would be on occasion, it would not be
Yes,
regular.
it's not a regular thing.
Right, like
Yeah.
maybe 4 times a year at best,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah, he's not
More like
doing,
twice a year.
he's not doing property owners
Yeah.
easements.
I can tell you where that's gonna look really bad, and it's gonna be along South Shamrock where where it's all golf course. Like
Oh, that's on his
down.
contract.
Oh, it is, okay, good.
Yes.
I mean, I mow the rough across from us, but I ain't mowing the rest of that road.
No,
Come on.
now, okay, now I'm talking about where that fence is, along by the water, that pond. Okay, if you're talking across from your house,
Mhm.
are you looking at a fence across from your,
No, which means all the way
That
down South
is-
Shamrock,
that is
the golf course is.
golf course property.
Yeah, they're not gonna mow that.
Well, then they should be made to do it.
Okay, let's
Well,
keep
maybe-
moving,
yeah,
let's keep
That's the
moving.
one.
Okay,
Maintenance Powell bill, we have 500. Landscape the beds, the last one, we have 1130. And I'll re-add the numbers,
I have a question, does this include the bed on, Foxfire Boulevard?
yes,
The one up on Hoffman Road where the sign is?
yes, that is in there.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so you just did landscape beds?
Mhm.
Okay.
okay, I'm just putting a note in here. Okay, so the numbers that we're gonna update are the separation between the maintenance collection center or yard waste center and maintenance collection trash, right?
Mhm.
Yes,
Alright, cool. Alright,
I just lost my place.
okay, so that takes care of streets and roads. So we move to the pool?
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Okay, so I tucked 30,000 in there for salaries, I know you originally had it at 25.
No, I think you had to go to 30.
Yeah.
And that's what we were in 23.
Yeah, now, that doesn't include, if you look on the salary spreadsheet, you know, we gotta take out Medicare and social
Taxes,
security
yeah.
on those people, but you don't have to pay many benefits, so,
Mhm, mhm.
so, okay,
Yeah,
so.
and I didn't know what the social security, that,
That's all right, and this number, those numbers in there I'll update, but let's keep going. The next thing I have.
Well, Social Security and Medicare are calculated into here.
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't know if they were calculated on.
yeah, I know, we're here.
I think they self,
I don't know if I don't know if they would've self-calculated in here. I
they're
self-calculated it on
right.
the spreadsheet.
They're right, they're calculated in there.
Okay, so consulting engineering, we have 500. Uniforms, and what is that, we talking t-shirts, right?
T-shirts,
we don't need consulting and engineering this year at the pool, do we?
let's leave it in there. Because,
Never know them.
yeah, let's
Okay.
leave it in there.
Advertising 1,000, and I'm assuming that's what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah, and I think we're gonna blow through that.
Where are we advertising?
Well,
Pilot.
pilot,
And
Sand Hills?
I don't know if she's doing the sandals.
I mean, I would get it out there to kids who need, we got tons of college kids coming in.
well, we're sending it out on email too, to the, Foxfire
Yes.
residents.
That, I don't think that hits as many people as we think. Sand Hills Community College, you wanna look at, I'll figure out how to get it on First Classified tomorrow.
Okay.
You might wanna call some of the local churches and just say, hey, we got summer jobs. You never know.
I should call Taylor Memorial
Yeah,
down in
yeah.
Roseland.
I like the Sandhills, I bet you we could.
Sandhills First Baptist on 5, that's a pretty good sized congregation. I would just say, hey, you guys got someplace, we need some part-time folks, it's at the pool,
Mhm.
okay? Anyway, moving on. And those will all be free,
Yeah,
okay? Pool operations, we have 500, I'm not sure what that includes, but it's a nice low number. Permits, 300, and that's for the county, correct?
yeah,
Okay, utilities, 55, telephone, 400, internet service, 2,000, supplies, 2,000.
and those are the numbers I gave you, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, the supplies being different from the chemicals, right?
No, okay, supplies, no, that is different from chemicals. The number I gave you for the chemicals,
I got it, we'll come to it. Pool
Okay.
landscaping is
wait, come back to supplies,
Okay.
because that's like the toilet paper, blah, blah, blah.
2,000 bucks,
Yep, that should be fine.
that should be way fine. Pool landscaping at 5,800, chemicals at 4,000,
Yep,
okay? We have pool maintenance at 13,000.
that's, yeah, that's his contract for the year.
That's Danny's contract.
Yep.
Got it, okay.
Can we just back up to
Yep.
chemicals for a minute?
Yep,
Now, I noticed that we don't have anything in here for this year because obviously we don't have.
We didn't have anything.
Right. Do we have chemicals stored?
No, we do not store chemicals.
Danny-
He supplies them.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right,
yep.
And he guesstimated about 4,000.
okay.
Alright, pool maintenance at 13,000, pool pest control, and we're not talking about errant children here, we're talking about bugs.
Okay, and,
How about you?
I am gonna have him do the fire ants this year. We've
Okay,
already done, he did, the park the other day,
okay,
and so he's going to have to do around the pool.
okay, okay.
I'm sorry, can
Go
we
ahead.
back up? Is there a reason pool maintenance is increased that much?
Because he'll be there, he wasn't there at all.
Right, I know,
But
but
he
when we
was-
look at years past.
It's about $6,000 more than
Yeah.
24 than.
And he told me, what did I say, he's there like 4 times, 5 days a week, or 7 days a week, someone has to show up.
Mhm.
And he has to show up 5 days a week. He sent me the email, hold on.
And he's
No, I'm
test-
just saying.
And he's testing chemicals have gone up a lot in price.
Yes.
Well, no, I
That's
know
a
that,
fact.
but that's separate, so
Ouch.
between chemicals and the maintenance,
That's him showing up.
no, I know that, but it's almost double what it was
Yeah, well, guess
last
what?
year. Or not last year, the year before.
Yeah. well,
All right, I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a pretty big jump.
Mm-hmm.
Trash removal 600, or is that number going up? Trash removal for the pool.
Yeah, I know, I'd have to look, what did we have the year before?
300.
This year we have 6.
But see, it's not,
But see, that's why why we should have this all separated, and Shannon should have the numbers. We didn't pick up anything last year,
Correct.
so.
You gave me 600 for this year. All I'm asking is, does that include their increase?
I don't think
No,
that.
no, the
That wouldn't
increase is for the
increase,
yard waste.
yeah.
That was the tonnage.
Didn't we also take an increase for trash pickup though?
Slight, it was
It
not.
was like a couple
Minute.
bucks.
Minute.
Oh, okay, alright, fine, never mind. Okay, liability insurance, I'm gonna have to get with Lisa and see if the portal is open. When I asked her last week, it was not, so we can get that stuff. And then, I'm gonna ask Sharon how she used to apply it. And see what she tells me, because I struggled with that last year.
Okay, so here's all his numbers.
And then we have property insurance.
Yep.
It needs a number.
Oh, yes, it does.
I don't have anything to do with that.
Okay, stick $400 in there, and let me have, that'll be done when I check with
Under
Lisa.
property?
400 and put a question mark.
Yeah, yep. That's all I got.
Well, all the insurances need a
Yeah.
question mark
Yeah.
because those haven't been
Yeah.
updated with new line items.
Capital outlay, we have 0.
We should be at
Yeah,
zero.
non-capital outlay, zero, pool renovation, that was last year. So really, we don't have anything else for the pool. I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna have some landscaping, additional landscaping, inside the pool has to be,
okay, well, where are we gonna put that in the budget?
that's my question.
Well, that's gonna be,
You know what, I'll
it's
just
tied
put
to
that
the-
under Ricky, cause he's gonna do it anyway, and when we get to, this is why I wanted a separate description code for the miscellaneous for Ricky's contract. Now, I don't know which category you wanna put it under.
Well, if it's pool
It would
landscaping,
be pool.
Yeah.
It would be
add it
pool.
to there.
If it's park, it's gonna be park.
Okay,
which
then
means-
then we need at least 3 of them then. Because what happens throughout the year is we have the pine straw and the labor. We can't pull that out of his contract numbers.
That's fine, I get that, I
So,
get that.
do you want 3 separate description under pool, park, and village? How do you wanna do that?
well, we should have pool landscaping extra account is probably what we need to have.
Yeah, so when he bills us additionally for the pine straw and the labor, that goes under there.
Yeah,
Same thing with the village, same thing with the park.
When he does that, does he say what area it was for, or does he just?
Oh, yeah,
give us-
oh, absolutely. And he also tells us how many bales and so on and so forth. Now, the other question is, where do we want to put, because there are things throughout the year that he has to do outside of his contract. Like if a tree has fallen down, it's our tree, the village owns it, falls on somebody's property.
That's under, actually, something like that is under streets and roads. I think anything falls under that, that's extra, should be like in a miscellaneous expense account.
Okay, so
For the
which one?
pool. Well, wherever it occurs.
It
If
could
it's on-
occur anywhere.
If it's on the streets and roads, it goes to the streets, cause there is an account on streets and roads for, cleaning, what was it?
Yeah, removal.
Where
It
are you?
was-
What number?
I don't know, I'm looking at it. There was like $1,000 in there or something.
Oh, no, that's grading and seeding.
There's storm removal.
Well, I'm not,
I don't wanna create a separate line item for that. I mean, if a tree falls by the pool, we'll just have them take it out and we have to, and we'll figure out where to put it.
It
It
should
doesn't
go
make
into,
sense to create a line item for that. It does make sense to create a line item for pool landscaping miscellaneous. But you need to provide me an estimated number to put in there.
it depends. I mean, what we did last year was, extras, including the pine straw, totaled 3,000.
Okay, so let's give 500 of that to the pool.
500,
Yep.
okay, 500.
See, that's the
Pool-
problem, it's hard to,
and what are you going to put that under, pool landscaping
I'm
additional,
probably gonna create a new general ledger account and make it pool landscaping miscellaneous.
miscellaneous, okay.
Okay,
hang on, let me catch up.
And you said 300?
500. 500.
I think what we'll do is do 5 for the park, 5 for the pool, 2 for the village.
Yeah,
You wanna do it that way, or you wanna do 1,000 for the park, 1,500 for the village, 500 for the pool?
Yes,
Okay? Okay, so anything else on pool?
Yep,
Alright.
hang on, let me think. I don't think so, not for right now. Oh, yes, the one thing we don't have is a line item for the pickleball court, or, yes, we do, it's down here, never mind. But it's home maintenance.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay, so let's go to the park. Nothing for utilities, nothing for telephone, nothing for landscaping, nothing for maintenance.
Wait. Let me get my list here. I thought we had $1,000 for utilities.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know
And-
why we wouldn't, because
Yeah.
it looks like that's,
when I did this, I did it by hand, I might have just missed something. What else? You got it, telephone? Do we have a
Telephone.
telephone?
Hang on, I'm getting there. The telephone is 300.
Okay,
Landscaping park,
Landscaping park was 1,000.
I must have just missed a whole thing.
Yeah, you
Sorry about
did.
that.
maintenance.
Hang on, I'm catching up. 4,000.
That right here, say mowing, I got 23,400.
You got that one.
Okay, now liability, all those things, I'll check. Hang on one
Trash
second.
removal, again, this comes well, that,
the number on the front includes all of them. The ones you had,
yep.
Sec.
Park, trash.
No, which one are you looking at?
we went through trash, oh, it was part of the yard waste, wherever yard waste was, where that, was that, under streets, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so trash removal at the park, why do I not have, that's bizarre. What do you got? for
I
trash?
can't remember, cause I haven't seen that bill. Did they separate the park pickup? Cause that's once a week also.
You had $13,000 for maintenance collection center. And you had said that was,
That I think.
that
we-
included everything. That included the trash pickup as well as the yard waste.
Yeah, we're gonna have to separate these out. I'll have to look at the invoices, or the bills that we got.
Yeah, we need to get those numbers straightened out, because you're right, we really should have trash for the pool, cause it's the whole different expenses, cause some are seasonal,
It's
some are
15
year round.
weeks. Yeah, the
Um,
park is 52 weeks, once a week. The pool is 15 weeks. The village hall is 52 weeks.
Right,
So we can figure that out pretty easy.
right, cause it's based on the number of cans, really, is
Yeah.
what it's based on,
Yeah. The big one is the yard waste.
right.
I'll get those, I'll look at it tomorrow.
Okay, telephone for the park, we actually did 350.
350?
Landscaping for the park, we did $1,000.
Yep,
Maintenance on the park, we did 2.5, 2,500, not 4,000.
wait a minute.
2,500?
Is that, hold on, what number?
357.
No, I gotta look at the number, 357.
357.
357, okay. That's not his. And we said what?
We said 25.
I'm just trying to think of what I'm gonna need to there. I've gotten the bathrooms done. Oh, and by the way, the urinal's fixed.
Oh, goody.
It was leaking.
I'll just go find a tree.
Now, we're discouraging that.
Yeah, you know the worst thing
You go
is,
in the weeds.
big sign that says out of order, guess what they were doing?
I don't wanna know.
Yeah,
I do
okay.
not.
Okay,
Okay.
maintenance, 2,500, or are we upping it?
Yeah,
You gave me, when we met, you gave me 2,500.
well, you know what, I've done a lot of it already. The signs, I think they can only break one more sign in the park now.
Well, historically, the maintenance in the park has been very close to $4,000. If you look at 2022 to 23,
Let's
it was
leave it at 4, just in
3,500.
case.
23, 24 was 3,800.
Yep,
This year, we're up close to $6,000. Actually, we had other expenses, so it's closer to $9,000 so
Well, that-
far.
Does that include the new septic tank?
I
that was
have,
it.
See,
That was
that,
it,
that
the new
would take
septic
it
tank.
way up, so.
Well, that's
The
why
new
I'm saying
septic-
we should-
Wait, the
we should
new
leave it-
septic tank was at the pool, the finding the septic tank
Yeah,
at the
I
park.
know.
but
Okay.
I would say
Number for
4.
maintenance, 4?
I would
Okay.
say 4, cause it's
Right.
been historically very
Mowing is
close.
his, you can't touch that.
Okay, I've got checking the portal on all that other stuff. Trash removal, oh man, let's see here.
She's gonna have to get that number to you. And you're gonna have to
I'm gonna
review all the
separate.
trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through all of the,
Yeah, we should have
Bills.
trash removal for each trash pickup, like trash removal in admin, trash removal in the park, trash removal at the pool, and then yard waste.
yep,
Okay, so if you look at this year, though, and this is unfortunately, when we did this, we were back in, March. Trash pickup right now is showing $7,264.
It's
That's
probably
not-
yard waste is in there.
No,
Oh, this is not the
no,
part.
I don't think so. I'll go through.
Oh, I'm sorry, wrong column, 2,736.
That's not the yard waste.
No,
No,
it's trash
no.
removal in the
Okay.
park.
In the park?
That's where I'm looking.
Okay.
What's it say?
It says 2,736.
Right.
That was
And
March.
this is, that
So
was March?
4,000 probably is a very good number.
It
You said
comes out
March?
about
We
3,600
got April, May, and
For the
June.
balance of the year. If we use 4,000, we should be in good shape.
So we have 3 more months.
4,000 should be fine unless they raise it up again.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, so it's 4,000 should be fine.
For the trash removal?
Yep.
Wait,
Okay.
why? Why so, how many cans do you have at the park?
6, 4 cans in
Four.
the park?
Four.
Oh, okay.
How much a can? How much a can?
I think, isn't it 21 now?
Is it the same as the residential rate? It's like $72 a quarter.
Yeah, cause they bill the yard waste monthly, I believe. I don't have pickup, so I don't know what they charge for
I think it's 72 a quarter.
divided by 4/8/12.
Well, that seems awful cheap.
They're not expensive, I think, it was $19 a can,
It went to about 2021, didn't it?
or is that $19 a week?
That's like
That's
$1,200
a
at the
week. It
most.
used to be $19.99 a week. when
No.
you-
Yeah, was it a week?
A week.
Okay. So
Yeah, that
19
was a week.
times 4 is what? But it went up,
20 times, well.
so say, it
Give
went up,
$1,000, but before it went up residential at,
I remember seeing the
$20
sign.
$20 a week,
What?
about $1,000 a year.
If you annualize the number that's in there and add 4 more months, you come in at $4,100, so 4,000 is probably pretty good.
Okay,
I can't believe it costs us that much to get trash removed.
It's not, I don't think it is that
And we
much.
budgeted 10,000.
That was, I think there might have been a mistake between yard waste
yeah.
going into the wrong account, I think, is what happened there.
You gonna put 45 in there?
No.
4,000?
I'm gonna have, Shannon and I are gonna separate the invoices.
Well, if year-to-date we're at 27,
Comes out about 3,600.
No, because that number, the
That's-
27, when Janet and I sat down and went through this, we were using March numbers, okay? So you have to add 4 more months onto that
Well, this
2736,
isn't
because
till the
this
end
was
of
from
March.
March 11th.
This
So you
isn't-
take 2736,
Okay,
divide it out, and
alright,
multiply
yeah.
by 12, you're 4104.
This isn't to March 31st. Yeah, okay, so it'll be 4
Well,
more
I
months.
just want you to know that, I asked them to take away the late fee they charged us.
Okay. So,
So we leave it at 4?
Landscaping beds.
landscaping beds, we got 109. Does that sound
I got
right? I mean,
215.
sorry,
I got 215 year to
Alright.
date.
I'm looking at, okay.
there's really not much there.
Internet service,
What are we leaving the landscape bed at?
well, 215, what, you didn't give me a number for,
We
This year.
budgeted 300, we've used 215. There's not, I'm not gonna do anything underneath that, bulletin board out there. He did, chips.
You wanna leave it at 300, or you wanna go with 250?
300, it's not a big
300.
deal.
All right, let's go. with
Internet
300.
service, we have none, storm repairs, we have nothing. Capital outlay has nothing. Trail maintenance,
That's the maintenance for the year.
98, okay.
I already have that.
okay, and then we've got 12.5 in there to mulch,
And get rid of all the stuff out of the
yeah.
blue.
Pickleball.
If, I'll go through and work these numbers, if we need to start pulling money to get, then mulching can go.
Yeah.
You know, and we can always, if we get, 3/4 through the year, fiscal year, and we're like, hey, we got money, then we can always do it out of contingency too.
I'm not, this number that I have is good until like September.
Okay, well. And it still leaves the other two areas undone, right?
No, those are done.
I thought you said they weren't done.
No, when they
Okay.
burned everything and took everything down, no.
Okay.
This is the last one to go.
Alright. What else do we need to do for you, Janet?
Well, pickleball maintenance, that, I think I don't know, that, the court itself is looking a little shaggy, it may have to be cleaned,
$1,000?
yeah. I don't know who would do this, I'll have to find out. It's getting really dirty.
Oh, you mean like, needs like not power washing, but needs.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they do, I don't
No,
think they
there's
do.
a gentle, probably a gentle washing.
Yeah, and how old is that? It's almost 4 years, well, it's over 4.
Yeah.
They did it when no, it's almost 4.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not over 4.
No. So I think that court itself has to be cleaned. So yeah, put 1,000 in there, please.
Okay. I just wanna be sure, Janet, on your stuff, I didn't miss anything, okay?
No, you got it all.
So, go back to streets and roads. We wanna know the paving Pine Ridge Drive off of Woodland Circle, and that was good. My other notes were, if we can change 4510, 586 from maintenance collection center to maintenance collection yard waste, we'll
Yep.
do it,
Yep.
okay?
You know what, you can't do that, and the reason why is because all the expenses that have been
Oh, crap.
booked past,
Yeah.
you have to create new ones.
Alright, well, just as long
Which is
as
not
I
a
know.
big deal, it really isn't.
Well, why can't we just leave it maintenance collection center and then just have maintenance collection trash?
Well, you can as long as everyone,
Knows that the collection
yard
is
waste.
yard waste.
I don't think that's hard, cause that's a center, you know?
Okay,
I think
we'll
that
leave
would
it
work.
at that.
And
But-
you're gonna, okay, and
and
then
then
you're,
add a trash account,
yeah, we'll add maintenance collection trash,
yes.
okay.
But I did wanna add another did you guys poo-poo this, the miscellaneous for
No,
any,
for Ricky, that's fine. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah.
Right.
I think we can just put it under streets and roads.
Well, no, because if he does it at the pool, and he does it at the park,
Then you have to create one for each category.
well, right, and then next year if we don't do it, you're gonna say, hey, I need a separate category,
No, I
so
think we
may as well
should,
do it.
because if we wanna find out where our
A real
money's going,
picture, a real
right.
picture of what it looks like,
Yeah,
okay?
so one in each category?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I would say if you,
And that makes it easier for me when I'm doing the,
it would make it easier for
Purchase orders.
Shannon too, really.
Yeah.
Or for bookkeeping, let me put it that way.
okay, so we're calling it what?
So we'll leave maintenance collection center the same.
Yeah.
We'll add a new GL that says maintenance collection trash.
Yep,
Or trash cans if that's not specific enough, okay. Then we're going to, you're gonna give me new numbers for that though, right, Janet?
yes,
Okay. So we'll then have separate numbers for collection center and separate numbers for collection trash.
for each,
Trash receptacles.
each department,
Trash can.
okay.
Well, we're only adding maintenance collection trash. What's that under?
Well, they all have one,
It'd be under pool, admin.
Pool has one.
Yeah.
Pool, streets, and,
yeah, Park had one. Trash removal, Park has one.
why doesn't admin have a trash?
That's not my problem.
No, I know, but that's.
You should have one.
This is admin.
Yeah, and Pool has trash removal.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should put a trash under admin.
Okay.
I'll give you a trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's different expenses, there's different schedules.
Yeah, and I know Shannon, when she gets the bills, she's separating it out.
Well, I don't think we have an admin account for trash,
We don't.
so I think it just goes under streets.
So you're putting it under mine.
I don't know where else they could put it.
Well, we did take the police department off. Or, not police
No, we
department,
took
the
the
fire department.
Mhm.
Yeah, the village was paying for that. We stopped it. Oh, I know what I want. I'm not done. Alright, so here's under park.
Hey, hold on just a second.
Alright, I knew there were things I needed to ask.
Okay, so then, who's giving me the number for trash collection under admin?
Well, you're gonna go through the
I'll
bill.
separate it, I'll get it for you.
Alright, okay.
Okay, so,
Okay, so where are we?
I have some other things I need.
What account?
This would be under
Parks.
park. And let me go under park, so I can figure out where we need to put this. We need new cameras at the park. Cameras at the park are not recording anything. And we're having a lot of, we're having more situations happen up there.
Non-capital outlay?
Yeah,
Okay,
if it's under $5 grand,
That's what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
okay.
it's non-capital outlay.
Alright, so are we gonna keep the 7,500 under non-capital outlay?
Oh,
There's no 7,500.
You're under the park, right?
Oh, I'm under pool, sorry, hang on. I'm a capital outlay, where's
Non-capital, 613360.
There we go.
360, you got nothing in there.
Okay, I would like, depending on, and I'm gonna sit down with, the chief. He researched 3 different types of cameras for me. And I wanna sit down with him and go over which.
I gotta have a number,
Okay, give me 250.
okay?
Okay, so that's that, non-capital. Okay, then the other thing I'd like to talk about is, barriers. Eric, we talked in one of our meetings about the
Yeah,
barriers.
yeah,
Eric sent me some pictures of barriers that he researched. The chief actually went and researched pricing for the barriers, and we kind of agreed he'd like 4, and I said, I'll take 2, and the police department can take 2. So we're looking
Who's
at,
gonna be responsible for them when they're not in use?
they would be in the storage facility,
yeah. Our new building.
or they can go up by the, they look like this.
So here's where I'm going. If we keep them in the storage facility, why are we splitting them between the park and the cop shop? The cost on them, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Why
So
don't
who
the
should
cops
it-
just, why don't the cops just own them? Because if you go to do something, you know, like you have to.
They'll just set them up.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is that there's gonna be 4 of them.
I mean,
So,
we'll all use them.
right, but what I'm saying
I would
is.
say it's a public safety thing.
So that's what I'm thinking too, just charge them all to your guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
because then if you need to move them, you know, you're not going, oh, should I take the park ones or this one, you know, I mean, let the cops take them, and let them be responsible for it. I just
Okay.
think that's a better,
So, I like that idea. Okay, so somewhere along the line, Don, write this number down, 780.
is that for
780,
That would be for 4.
that's for 4 of them.
Is that price good for a while?
That I can't, I mean, I just looked. at
Alright, so
mine.
make it 800. Just in case.
Yeah, we'll do that in the
four? Yeah, we'll do
safety.
that in the cop one.
Yeah.
Alright, good. Then
It's
I
just
don't-
cleaner, it's just way cleaner to do it that way.
That's good, thank you.
We take charitable donations.
You say what?
We take charitable donations.
Alright, Janet, what else for you?
Then I'm done.
Alright,
Okay,
okay.
what are we moving
Let's
to
go to
next?
admin, do admin.
Okay,
And again, remember the salaries and stuff haven't been updated here, so.
and you went through this with Lisa?
At least then Shannon and I went through it.
Okay,
Yeah, cause most of my big
First.
projects are done.
Okay, admin, just skip down to, let's go to professional services audit. That's where we're gonna start, 4130, 190.
did you see his,
No, I haven't seen it. I know it's coming, cause Jody, I had a conversation.
it's on my desk.
Do you recall what it went up to? He's a nice guy, he likes us. He's already talked to Jody. I'm like, yeah. Unless he just sent it.
Alright, so I gotta come up tomorrow and do the trash thing, okay. Oh. Did we have this, I have to jump back, the 3,500 for the, storm box on South Shamrock? I think we did, 593.
Streets and roads,
4510.
are you in streets and roads?
Hang on, I gotta get over there. 4510, 593. That's. Hang on, I'll
That's
find it.
drainage.
I think that was under drainage, 4510.
Got 4,000 under drainage, 4510, 590.
There might be another issue that we have too. That might be a couple $1,000s.
What are we talking about?
The drainage issue on South Shamrock. Okay, 593. Hang on, let me get there. Yeah, make that 6. I knew there was something else.
596, right?
Yep. No, 593.
593, okay, drainage, huh? Okay.
Yep. Well, it's nice we paid for riprap and, we can use it. It's sitting at the park. I'll be getting rid of that, riprap. I don't know when, but it'll go. That's the village's now,
Good.
and so are those stones.
Just food for thought,
Okay,
while you're on the topic, you might wanna, when you're talking about the camera stuff,
Yeah,
have a little something in there for installation.
oh, good idea. He just raised a good point. Because we
Don't
have.
you know that installer is in your job description?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Well, here's the problem,
Well, the
you know what,
last
he's got a
sheet
good
put 'em
point,
in.
because I've got the cameras at the pool that still have to be hooked up.
I said
Now-
back out ladders.
What do you call it, computer doctors said they could do it. But of course there'll be a charge for that.
Well,
Better get a
it's
price.
14, we'll need to ask them to see what they charge. It's going to be, the audit charge is total amount not to exceed 14,500.
Oh, that's good, cause I guess 7,500, not bad.
And that's split between water and,
Evenly split between
Yeah.
water and admin, yeah. Okay, so,
So we're not gonna add anything for,
you need, well, how much do we need for the installation? And have them do, let's do the pool, let's do them all under the park.
yeah, we can do
On a
that.
separate line item on the
No,
pool.
that's fine.
Okay,
well, it's still gonna be a non-capital outlay,
Well,
let's
that's
give it $500,
yeah.
for installation,
no, total.
for,
Well, you got the pool and the park cameras, right? I mean, how hard are they to install?
I
Well,
have
they
no
gotta
idea.
crawl up in the attic and wire them, they're not.
Well,
they're not,
no,
why don't we
Wi-Fi.
just-
no, we don't have to do any wiring at the pool. They have to be connected to,
Wi-Fi?
yeah, all of that.
What I would do is find out what they would charge, and then we'll add in that number.
Okay, there is no Wi-Fi at the,
They'd have to be
Park.
wired down there.
no, there.
There's wire there now.
Yeah, it's all wired, it just all has to be hooked up
Yeah,
Alright,
to the hard drive.
right.
alright. Okay, we are going back to admin if we.
Okay, I'm done.
Alright,
Figures a bit more out.
what'd you say? Hang on.
Okay, I'm an admin. I have nothing to say about that.
Okay. Procession, okay, so what did you say, 14,500?
Yeah, we have 7,500 in there, not to exceed 14,500.
7,250, cause he won't go over that.
Right,
Okay.
we can save a couple
Yeah,
hundred.
yeah, professional services accounting, I've talked to Jody, she loves us, and so we split that, 70% admin, 30% water, her contract price to us will not change, so 14,500.
Okay,
Okay, professional services legal, we haven't really done a lot, so I downed it to 20,000.
okay,
Election expense, I put it 5,500, Lisa got that number. Okay, so it's up, but, and I don't, there's something about the state and the elections too, but I don't know if it affects the price. County was talking about it.
okay,
Election expense, 5,500. Computer services, that's based on contract, 25. Unicode codification, 55. Professional services, 1,500.
What is this year to date, the 46, do you know? What that was for?
Let me look.
Unless some of Jody's money went in
Shouldn't have
there.
been, though. Shouldn't have been, hold on. Oh, that included Sharon,
Right,
okay?
yes.
Now,
And that's fair.
Yeah, I did put a little money in there for Sharon, if we need to pull her in on the audit, because Shannon wasn't here, okay? Shannon came on like in August, so she only saw the back end of it. Now, when I talked to Jody, when did I see her? On Tuesday, she said Ken's already reached out to her and said, hey, are you still helping him? She's like, yeah, he goes, okay, good. So she thinks we probably won't need Sharon, so I'm willing to cut that, but I'd like to have something in there just in case there's something we run into and
Sure.
we need to pull our expertise.
Yep.
So I'm thinking about 750, I'm gonna cut that, okay? Or let me do 1,000.
You don't wanna leave it at 15?
You think we'll need 1,500?
You never know.
Alright,
You don't know what,
Leave it there.
what could
but
come up.
when Jody said to me, Ken's already talked to her, and she goes, and I know exactly what to do with him this year, I think it's gonna be,
Well, it's her I mean, she's the one responsible,
yeah.
so.
but she now knows, and she and Shannon work really well together, so, okay, so I'll leave that at 1,500. Tax collection fee, I remember is 2%, I got that in at 20,000.
Mhm.
Office supplies to 3. Travel at 35. Training and meals at 45, and that is, it's up a little bit, and that is based on that Shannon's gotta do some finance classes, they're gonna be overnighters. There's no point in having her drive back and forth.
Mhm.
We've got telephone at 2. We've got the Muni Code webpage at 1,300. Yeah, okay. Internet service. No, I'm sorry, internet webpage, 11.5.
Is that, did you get that number from Lisa?
Yeah, yep, I did.
Okay.
That or hosting service, that 11.5, that's a lot.
Well, I know they were redoing the website. They're working on redoing it to automate some of the things with the agendas and all that. I don't know where she is.
Maybe, okay, it's agenda builder.
Mhm.
I think that's what it includes. I think that is what it is. Internet service, 12.50.
Now, that may go up a little bit because we had a rate for starting with them that was guaranteed for a year. But here's, don't wanna advertise this, we're past the year and they've kept the rates the same.
Well, that'd be great.
But that may be going up.
Well, let's just put it at 15.
Okay.
1,500.
How about let's check with them and find out so we don't get,
Well, I don't wanna
Well,
alert
the
them to
question
the
mark.
fact that they haven't upped our rates. Oh, excuse me, what's your rate gonna be? It was an introductory rate, so. Yeah, you don't call them and go, hey, you're still charging us that introductory rate.
Well, we'll put 1,500 down. If it's more down the road, we can always adjust.
Yeah, let's do 15.
I wanna wake them up.
Let's do 15, because we've got postage here, and although we've used very little of it this year so far, postage is going up
Oh, yeah.
tremendously.
yeah, but
So-
that gets charged to the water department.
Well,
Not all of
That's
it.
why
No,
we have
got some-
1,200.
We got some of it.
We get some of it, but the vast majority of that is charged to the
but
water
I'm just
department.
thinking if we have to do any mailings, I'm just thinking
That's
that.
why we got it at 1,200.
Okay,
That was Lisa's number.
okay.
That's
Okay.
1,200 is good.
Yep. Printing is at 600.
Okay,
Advertising at a,
But wait, why are you putting it down at
because
797?
they bought a whole bunch of stuff this year.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's stuff that gets printed, and we get boxes of it, and it lasts a while. That
Okay.
again was
right,
Lisa's,
you have to,
that was
yeah.
Lisa's number.
So let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Are you talking like printing paper?
No,
And supplies.
like, purchase orders, that kind of stuff, like forms.
Oh, okay.
Printed paper.
Advertising, we have,
$1,000.
we have 1,000, but you know what?
What were we advertising for $2,000?
Well-
Admin.
Oh, that was it, oh,
Yeah,
that's
the admin
right.
and Shannon, I mean, we did a lot of advertising.
Yeah, that's right.
So 1,200 where are we?
1,000.
To advertise for the admin, I think, you know, if we target what we do, and, you know, we talked, were you in here when we talked about other places to put up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff is free, I mean, so, we can go up if we have to, I don't really wanna go up, but, and we overspent in 24, 25, cause you had to.
Right. Well, it looks like it's typically closer to 2 than 1.
Yeah,
15,
I'd go too.
I would go 2. Cause it, historically,
Yeah,
it's always been at least that much.
okay, computer contract. I had been there at 6,000. And I gotta check with Lisa and see if this includes the FMS fee of $44.70. Do you know, Janice?
I don't, but I would say it does.
That's kind of my guess too, but I'm gonna double check, if you got the contract for $44.70. Copier service, where am I here?
Yep,
That's for
15.
Canon. 1,500, the copier lease, 2,400, most of that we annualized. Liability and property insurance, I will get with Lisa and we're gonna figure that out. Bonds, public officers insurance, dues and subscriptions, we took up a little bit. That's like your league subscription, you know, the service organizations, that kind of stuff.
Now, public officers, you need to get that number, you don't have that number
I
yet.
don't have it yet.
Right.
Lisa gets it though. Wait a minute. Where did
Well, you don't have it yet, though.
I don't have, no, I don't
Right,
have any of that
right.
stuff. Okay. Non-capitalized assets, 2,000, I think we're talking a couple computer replacements.
yes,
Is that enough
I don't think so.
for 2?
Lisa thought it was fine. I mean, these are her numbers. So,
Well, I just got a new computer with, you know, adding Word and blah, 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 it was over $700.
I'll check with her, but if she told me $2,000, I'm thinking she's probably priced it
She
out.
knows, she knows.
Well, yeah, if yours
Yeah,
was 700,
yeah.
you know, it should be fine.
Yep. Okay, maintenance, we have 11,500.
Question,
Yeah.
the maintenance, is that including the cleaning?
Uh-huh.
Is this, because the gal that cleans here, she cleans at the park and she cleans at the pool, so is that all added in here?
Probably.
Can we leave it there?
Fine with me.
Okay,
Office utilities, 4,000, office furniture, 2,500. This year, we really overspent on furniture. So this 2,500 basically is to replace the table and chairs in the back where the one chair fell apart.
Yeah,
I personally think that's quite a bit.
yeah.
I think if, I mean, we don't need something fancy back there.
Well, I'm thinking if we could, and I went up to Carthage, they used furniture.
Yeah,
place
oh,
there.
I went by there the other day and
I was
almost
in
went
there,
in to look.
I did go in, and they didn't really have any conference, the only conference table they had was not, it wasn't worth,
I'll tell you
it
who's
wasn't
not.
worth changing.
The hospital's got them, but they can't sell that stuff because they're a nonprofit.
so how do they get rid of it?
Donate it.
They can't do that.
Well,
All right,
how
so
do
what do
they
they
get
do
rid
with
of
What do they do with
I
them?
think it goes to the trash.
That's
So-
stupid.
Can they give them to employees?
Oh,
That's
no.
stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm thinking even, I just think 2,500 is a lot. I don't think we need to spend $2,500 on a conference table back there.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make that 15 tops. if that's okay?
Yeah.
I mean, the table I was
Okay, are you
looking at-
talking table and chairs?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, but
like
chairs,
6 chairs?
yeah.
I mean,
You can buy the chairs, you can buy the chairs and the table separately, I mean, it's
Right,
not,
right.
if you're willing to scrounge a little bit, I may even look at Habitat, I mean,
well, again, the used furniture place, they've got chairs there too.
yeah, yeah.
And again, it doesn't get used.
It doesn't.
It's nice to have it so that, you know, for a meeting, but,
Interviews and so forth.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Alright, I'm gonna reduce that.
What are you going to, 15?
15, I think we ought to be able to pull that off for 15.
I wouldn't even wanna spend that much to
I
tell
don't
you the
either.
truth.
No.
You know, there's a lot of, consignment places too around that could have tables.
Hey,
that
on the
would
right
be
day,
just-
you could go to the trash dump and get it. I'm telling ya.
There are days.
Okay, Rick Ryan Memorial, $1,000.
Yeah, if we get
Are
to
we
it.
moving it? What are we doing?
We had said that we did, and his widow had thought that that was a good idea as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you
okay,
talked to her?
alright.
Well, Lisa did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be an expense of moving it to here.
If
Yeah.
we get around to doing that.
Okay, I think you're well there, but that's okay.
Alright.
Alright, public safety's next, right?
It's next on the list.
Let me just review what we got, so I'm sure we're. We got 1,500 for Spectrum because it's going up. Advertising, we took up to 2. I'll double check to be sure that the computer contract includes the FMS fee. I got Lisa on liability and property. Public officers insurance comes from Lisa. We reduced the new table and chairs to 1,500 absolute tops, and we ought to be able to do it for less than that. Okay,
We got
trash
the-
collection is a new GL account for them,
Yep.
and you're gonna give me the breakouts, right, Janet? Okay.
Yep. I'll look at it
And
all
the audit
tomorrow.
is reduced to 7250.
Yeah, that one, yeah, yep, okay.
As long as Shannon's kept a file on it, I can do it.
Okay, moving into public safety.
Okay, for public safety, we're gonna ask Chief Amiskita to come up to the podium and, go through our line items with us, please. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for your diligence on watching all of your line items.
It's nonstop. It's nonstop.
Okay, oh, you wait, I thought you were gonna go through them,
No,
okay,
ma'am,
never
I'm
mind,
working.
sorry. Come on, chief, speak, sorry.
No, ma'am.
And this was chief and myself and Shannon, I think, who went through these, so,
I went with the chief early.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so in miscellaneous, we put 1,300.
Yep.
You can't pay attention to salaries because
No.
all that's gonna change. Computer services, we have 500. Storm-related expenses, we got a 0, right? Get on there for a second.
Okay, now the computer services is that's not the internet.
No.
No,
Okay,
two separate.
alright.
That's like computer maintenance, things like that, like for example, the RMS systems or.
Okay, alright,
Computer
just so I
might
know.
have to combine and fix something.
Hold on a second, what am I looking at? Hang on.
Now, storm-related expenses is 0 is, I mean, it's historically never been used, at least
No.
not
No,
here.
sorry.
So you just would put it into miscellaneous unless,
Again, we've never, to my understanding, we've never run into any storm-related expense. Everything's been trees falling, so on and so forth, so we're back to the.
Yeah, that
streets
comes
at that
under
point.
me.
okay,
And
We've
we've
never
got
had any of that
2,000
here, correct?
in one of your accounts for storm, don't we?
yeah,
Yeah, so we've got money, we just don't have it right
Yeah.
here. Okay.
okay.
Okay, where am I here?
Uniform.
Uniform replacement, we put 2,500. Do we think that's high, or we think that's really good?
I'm trying to look at my numbers, so you can bear with me just a second here. I thought did we switch it whenever we had our meeting on that?
Hang on a second.
There's-
Hang on a second.
I may have backed it down some, just,
Uniform replacement, I have a line down, drawn, saying we were gonna leave it the same thing it was the previous year.
so we're
So
at
20
4,000.
No, we've now 25.
2,500.
It was 4,000.
Yeah, it's
this year.
4,000 this year.
Yeah, but you weren't gonna have to rebuy that stuff.
No, not everything, and, you know, not, like I said, not, everybody's got everything they need, minus her
Right.
price say, which I'll
Okay,
give
so
you a
25
price.
should be a pretty good number?
Yes,
Okay.
just so we can revamp for boots,
Yeah.
torn
Yeah.
pants, shirts,
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Okay. Gas and oil, we have 16,000.
I just checked that out. If this usage is from to March 1st and not the end of March, that's only 8 months. And you take what they've got used, times 12 comes out of 17,500 for gas and oil.
We wanna up it?
Yeah.
Better go 17,500. Or drive less,
You sure 17.5 or you wanna go 18?
No.
17,500. Gas hopefully will start coming down a little bit.
Well, it has. You know where you go? BJ's.
Okay. We've got tires in at 1,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Travel and meals, we left at 2,000,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. Utilities, 28. Telephone, 38.
Alright, slow down 1 second.
Okay, sorry.
Utilities, yeah, utilities, you have 28 currently?
Yep.
Alright.
Telephone, we have 38. Postage and shipping, we gave you a blank. Vehicle maintenance, we put in at 4,000.
Yeah, that-
Significantly less because
We
there's
had
no.
2 accidents
Yeah,
and then we got
right,
most of that money back,
yeah,
so.
yeah, okay.
So that should be fine.
Police equipment maintenance, we did 500.
Yes, go ahead, I'm sorry, continue.
Office furniture, 500. Office supplies, 750. And then,
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Because when we get the internet bill, it is separated by the pool, the police department, and the village hall.
Mhm.
Why isn't it showing up?
Oh, it is here, it's on the next line, it's 383.
Page 2,
Okay, there you go. Alright.
page 2.
Office furniture, 500, what are you looking for?
We have some broken chairs and they're just cheap chairs and over the time they're starting to break and everything.
hey,
So,
when I buy a conference room table, trust me, I'll get your chairs included.
there you go.
You never know when somebody's desperate to move it. Okay, office supplies, 750. Police supplies, and this is things like ammo, evidence bags, stuff like that, $2,000.
I've got and I know the chief and I talked about this, is that I'm wondering if we should have accounts for ammo and like vests, because those are expensive, you don't buy them every year, but when you do have to buy them,
Mhm.
they're pricey, and I
Right.
Why
think
can't we
it's,
just pull the details out of police supplies, cause that's really what it is.
yeah, but it sounds like office supplies, you
Alright,
know, it's
so,
like,
Well,
I
no,
know,
office
we sat
supplies,
down
we
and me and you to discuss that sort of thing, that was right before we sat down and done all our stuff. I know she had said something to the effect of, doing what was the public safety reserve or something like that, that way, you know, because it's every 5 years for a vest for us. And so,
That's not worth having a GL code.
yeah, and so instead of just saying, hey, every year we're gonna put $1,000, whatever it may be, it's like, we're just doing it in a reserve sort of thing.
Yeah.
That way it's like, alright, hey, we have to get 5 new vests or whatever it may be at that point.
well, typically you're not getting 5 at a time though, right?
Well, that's the thing, right now, all of our vests are on the same contract.
Okay,
Okay,
So, go ahead.
let me say something really quick. You know you can get vests replaced through the league. They have a grant for it.
Let's see, this shows stuff I have no idea.
Yeah, check it out. They got a grant. I'm sure they said they had a grant for it, and it's not like you gotta compete.
Right, okay, well, I mean,
Okay.
again, that's something we can look at. Our vests are still good for 2 to 3 more years, so we're still good on that right there currently. It may have been last year, it might have been some before, but Chad, he went through and did their grant funding, and we actually bought all vests at that time. So that's what ended up with us on the same rotation.
I just
Okay.
think those things that we don't do them enough, I think if we put them under police supplies and somebody looks at the detail, it's gonna be pretty obvious what it was.
okay.
Okay, so police supplies, we got 2, but check out that vest thing, and I'm sorry I didn't mention it further,
That's an R.
earlier rather. Public relations, we have 200. Professional services, we have $1,000, and what did we talk about, Michael, when we talked about that?
Initially, we budgeted 2,000,
Yeah.
and I said, let's back it down to 1,000, because for this year, we've used $370.
Yeah.
What, was it just subscriptions or something?
No, that's for professional services, i.e. for when we're onboarding somebody. physicals, drug tests,
Gotcha,
psych
gotcha,
evals, so on and so
okay,
forth.
got it, okay.
I don't
got it,
forecast
okay.
any of our guys leaving, Lord willing, but at the same
They're not
time
leaving.
is.
Well, and I know we budgeted a lot because of psychological testing that we may have had to do, but since
Bring them on.
a lot of our guys
Yep.
that you hired were,
We were able to
we
use
had
those.
those within
Okay.
a certain amount of
Alright.
time, they could carry over.
Okay, so we're good at $1,000, advertising for 500. The police pack contract is 36, and that's by, remind me what that is.
That's gonna be through Southern Software, that's our reporting
Gotcha.
software.
That's Southern Software.
Gotcha, alright. Hold on, don't do that. Hey, get out of there. Okay, internet service, we have 22. And did we I think we annualized that when we did it, didn't we?
Well, let's see here. 1588.
And we took it up to 2,200. That sounds like we annualized it.
Right now, we're sitting at 1702, that was as of yesterday.
Okay, and we have 2 months to go.
Yes.
So we're
Well,
good.
if you figure it out, what you got billed so far, if you go 12 months, it comes out at 23,989. Might wanna go 2,400
For that.
or 2,500.
Where we at on
No, it comes to 2,000.
No,
You said that-
we've used so far actual 1588.
I thought he said it's 1702 as of now.
That's as of today, or yesterday,
Oh.
but we also haven't been billed for the month on that currently.
I'm going on.
It's $144 a month, is that the, excuse me, that's the internet service, correct?
How much a month?
It's $144.98, so
That's
it's $145 a
okay,
month.
that's 1728.
Right,
Is that
And
what
when
you
we
got?
annualized it, we came up with more than that. What'd you say you are now? 1702?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that 9 months?
Must
That,
be-
like I said, that's of yesterday, but we haven't been billed for this month.
so it's 2269, so 2,300
23, yep.
and 24.
Right, 24?
Which
I don't
number,
know.
If you insist.
which number are
24?
you at?
Hold on,
We're at 383.
Alright.
we're on the internet service, which
Okay.
is 383.
Alright, so,
Uniform upkeep on 392, we got a 0.
so what did you go for internet?
And then 452 vehicle insurance, we're at 45. And I wonder if that's enough.
Year to date, we're showing $3,700, $3,783 to be exact.
Is that billed quarterly?
It does not tell me, it says, well, we
No,
have
it says
zeros,
yearly.
I think it's one time.
It's an annual fee, but they,
Oh, they disperse it,
because
okay.
you have to pay it when it's due,
I
and
got
it
it.
may not.
So we got 45 in there. If that's, it's a 3783, is that 3/4?
No, that's a year to date, I
That's a
believe,
year
because,
for-
As of March,
Yeah.
So we got 1 more quarter to go, basically. It actually gives us 5,000.
are we sure we're not paying this yearly? And the reason why I ask that is because I have the.
We do
I
pay it
have
yearly.
I have the early February sheet.
I'm
here.
sorry.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
that's a
I
yearly.
just said that, you pay it
Sorry,
annually,
I
yeah.
heard
That's
you
a
and it
yearly
didn't register,
premium.
yeah. Sorry, so 45, we ought to be good.
Yep.
Alright. Public officer insurance, we've got 2,500,
Well, we don't know what that is yet, right?
no.
That's a number that we,
Question mark.
Yep,
actually, even the vehicle insurance is a question mark, because we don't know what it's gonna renew at. I don't know what the renewal date is for our insurance, so. I would hope it would be July 1, but I doubt it is.
that'd be too easy. Okay, second. Okay, and dues and subscriptions, we moved the code red charges out of there.
Yes, and that actually went to the mitigation fund. That was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay, non-capitalized assets, we have 1,000, and what were we talking about, computer stuff?
I'm assuming that's what it's for, like I said, obviously we haven't touched it.
Yeah, okay, so that's good, let's leave that
Leave that
alone.
here.
Capitalized assets, we have nothing, grant, non-capital outlay, nothing. Vehicle purchase, 50,000, we think that's a little hold.
I don't know, it just kind of depends on what we buy and when we buy it. So the problem we're running into currently is obviously market, but it also depends on what we're putting in the driveway out here, so to speak. So obviously, like everything I've looked at now is, even if we bought an Explorer, we're looking at about $48,000 just for the vehicle. If we
Can we
went
look at
something,
something else?
no, that's, well, that's the thing is, I mean, and.
Well, they don't have the chargers anymore,
They don't have
right?
the Chargers anymore. The Durangos are still available, but I don't have the new year pricing currently. They're still, I haven't released them yet. But they were saying something about a possible like a 5% increase on those. So like I said, it's gonna be somewhere in the mix. And again, there's several different options out there, but right now, I mean, we're somewhere in the mid to high 40s as far as any vehicle, as far as a patrol vehicle.
Right.
So do we go 55?
And like I said, it's not including any type of upfit.
Well, that's just it, you still have to,
I went ahead and started shopping that quote a little bit, just to say, hey, if we get X, Y, or Z, what are we looking at?
would we trade in one of our old vehicles?
I would, the Charger will be coming offline.
So we're gonna, do we trade that in? What do
No,
we do
we'll
with
sell
it?
it out.
Sell it
Sell
outright.
it.
Either go on
Sell it
Gov
outright.
auctions or something like that, or we'll reach out to a local town that needs a newer vehicle that just can't afford one.
Go poking around in Richmond County, Hope County, those guys, they probably.
Montgomery, yes.
Yep.
Well, the old Charger is the one you're gonna get rid of.
Yes, the one that's.
Not the one that's still on the
No.
wheel, that goes to a lot as a spare.
Yep, so the current Charger that will be coming off is the one that Derek's currently driving, just Chad's old car. It'll come offline once, the new vehicle comes out and then.
Auxiliary people use that.
Do it now?
You'd be a spare.
Yes,
with
spare
the
vehicle.
Auxiliary.
Yep,
Auxiliary.
and then, exactly right, and then like I said, the Charger that's out here on the back line now will be sold.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to 55, understanding that when we sell, what'd you say we're selling the Charger?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
The
When we
old
sell
one.
that outright, that money goes right back
Yep.
to the
The
vehicle
reserve.
reserve, yeah,
Right,
so we
right.
don't take a,
Yeah.
alright?
Oh,
Okay, cool. Hazardous mitigation foam, that's code red, correct?
yes.
And that's at 35.
That's what the budget before, right now it says quarter to date, we're sitting at $3,600. I don't know if it's because it was moved from one line item to another. But it also, year to date, is showing an astronomical number on my end.
Wait a minute,
Which one?
say that again?
It's item 640.
Yeah,
Alright, so we budgeted $3,500.
yep,
It's showing quarter to date is $3,600, and then our year to date is $6,143. So I
oh,
don't
that
know.
means Jody did move something back out, hold on, that's not right.
cause year-to-date on this is 2000
222.
That-
22.
And your numbers are as far as March,
March,
correct?
right?
So like I said, those line items had to get moved around. Cause she was taking that out of dues.
I'll ever check those journal entries. That's one place where we've had a few hiccups, is just, Jody looks at something and says, do the subscriptions, and we go, what doing subscription, and we got a few of those.
Still okay.
Okay, so, I'll have her check that. Okay, alright. We don't have a canine anymore. Drug enforcement, we have 0. Building maintenance, we have 1,500.
Gonna need that much?
Right now we're sitting at $956 for the year.
Leave it 1,500.
Yeah,
just in
did you,
case.
well, because that doesn't. include the-
That doesn't include like a hot water
550,
heater
yeah.
and so on, yeah, so that,
Okay.
yes,
That's,
you're correct.
that's
Okay.
reasonable.
Yeah,
And then police department propane, we gotta have something in there even though we don't use it.
that's just for our generator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
so I
alright.
believe right now it's just a
One
service
of these
fee.
days we'll have to fill it up.
Pardon?
Oh,
One
don't
of these
forget
days
to
we'll have
add the,
fill the tank up.
what did I tell you? For the, barriers.
Yes, and that brings it to the next.
Well, that would be,
Supplies.
basically, no, that would be going under miscellaneous, I would think.
Or non-capitalized.
Or police equipment.
Yeah, it could go
I
under.
think,
Non-capitalized, there's enough money there for that. Put it in there,
a second.
$800, right?
So was it 195 per,
It was $95 per sign,
oh, per sign?
yes.
How many signs?
Right, so it's
Four.
$400, you're
Yeah,
looking at,
$400.
It's 500, we'll call it
$450.
$500 with shipping and
Yeah,
everything.
if we put
Yeah.
2 1/4 our fund and she puts 2 1/4.
They're not doing
No,
that.
we're gonna do the whole
Four-
thing.
400.
$500.
Wait a minute, we're talking about barriers, right?
The
Yes.
barriers,
yes.
100, how much a piece?
they're $95 a piece.
Based off the one I just located, and again, I don't know.
Just
what-
say $100 a piece,
Yeah.
Okay, so 400.
400. Do
Plus
that.
shipping and everything else.
so 500.
Yep.
Yeah, do 500 and
Right.
that's,
That's under what?
Police,
Non-capital?
No, non-capital?
I put
Right.
it under non-capitalized.
Yeah.
Well, we already got 1,000 in there.
Yeah, so we just leave it alone and know that
barrier.
barriers is the first thing we're gonna put up against, you're not gonna do that, Mary.
Well, we have that currently, you want to go ahead and try to get them figured out in order?
The what?
No, we have to
No,
wait
gotta wait.
until
Gotta wait till
July.
it's
So is
Stop
our
it.
budget locked now for this year?
You bet.
That'll, well,
Oh,
We're
wait,
gonna
is there-
put it into FY 2020, or
Okay.
25, 26, which will start on the 1st of
well,
July.
no, the question is, you've got money
I've
in
got
now.
there's
$1,000
$1,000 in there now.
Well, then you can go ahead and spend it.
There's no
then.
reason why you can't buy that now as a
Okay.
Yeah.
purchase.
And then we want, we
And
can
then
keep
we
that there
can-
for,
We can leave it.
yeah. Because again, that was something that with the new vehicle, the upfitting, we have to do everything, laptop, everything. So that
Yeah.
way it's a package deal.
So buy them now?
Yeah.
I'm totally good for that.
Okay,
Wait, we're talking about the $400, talking about the barriers.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct.
Alright,
Yes.
alright.
alright, so will you take care of that? Thank you.
It's done.
It's his budget item.
It's done.
And where are we gonna store it?
In the main, or in the building that we're proposing to get.
Or,
Wait, we don't have a building yet.
well,
Yeah,
you can put them up.
But
on-
currently, yeah, we can put them up on the
Yard
hills,
waste.
and then,
Alright, fine. Okay, so let's roll back through this really quick. We got Spectrum at 1,500, we got 2,000 for admin. Oh, wait a minute, whoa, wrong department, Mary, sorry, bad news. Okay, we took gas and oil up to 17.5.
Right,
We took internet service up to 24.
correct.
We got a check on the renewal date for insurance, public officers insurance, so I'll get with Lisa. Dues and subscriptions, the code red charges were moved, but it looks like
we're
they
up
didn't.
200 on that.
Pardon?
We decided to go up to 500 on
Right,
that.
got 500 there, yeah.
Yes.
But it looks then like at the hazardous mitigation phone, we doubled something.
That's what I was saying, we said you were gonna have to get with Jody
Yeah, I'll
about
do
the
it,
answer
Jody.
on that.
Okay, alright.
Because as of, in February, that wasn't on there.
That, you know what that says? It's a journal entry.
Yep.
Okay, alright, got it. Okay, good.
Vehicle purchase at 55.
And vehicle purchase at 55.
Okay,
You wanna go back to the sheet as far as the additions and subtractions?
Huh?
Just as far as the line item stuff that we actually have went in and actually changed, either try to add money to or take money away from. Do you wanna go back and itemize those real quick, just to make sure we're on the same page or not?
She just
We're
did.
good,
we
we
just did that.
We didn't go through everything, that's why I was asking.
Why, what did we miss?
Several.
Well, hold on a second.
Yep.
Okay, what did we miss?
Alright, well, just now, we went through digital subscriptions, internet services, various other things. Starting with $1,600 additional for the phone, is that $3,800 for the year?
Whoa,
What
Where are
year
you?
we in?
What number?
Alright, so the 321, first page.
321, we got 3,800
We got
budgeted.
3,800.
Yeah, look, this current year, I'm going off our current numbers to make sure we're on the same page here. Currently, we were at 2,200 for this year.
mhm.
We're adding 1,600 for that, because again, obviously we're over. Just to make sure.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, utilities, we got 2,800.
Yep, okay.
And
So
Okay.
38.
Yep, and phone will be 38.
Yep.
Got that.
And like I said, the phone is obviously our PD phone as well as our cell phone
Mhm.
and our internet in our cars.
Mhm.
Just so that make sure that we're all kind of on the same page with that.
What else did I miss?
Vehicle maintenance, we're up 1,000 to 4,000, correct?
Yep,
That's it.
Okay. Vehicle equipment maintenance, we're up to 500 on that.
Yeah.
Got that.
Okay. Office furniture, we're at 500 as well.
Yeah,
Office supply, we're up $250 to $750 total.
yep.
We got that.
Okay. And the reason why we up that is to take some of the burden off of Lisa having to
right, so we'll split, so
toilet
admin,
papers and
yeah.
stuff like that, that way we have her,
Yeah.
have her own little line. Police supply, we're up to 2,000 total, that's
Right.
up $1,300.
Yeah,
That
and you're
means-
gonna check on the grant for the best, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And again, we were several years out from that, but I'll go ahead and
Okay,
start
that's fine.
laying the groundwork for that. Professional services, we're down 1,000 to 1,000 flat.
Mhm.
Yep,
Okay. Advertising, we're down to 500 flat.
yep.
Alright, internet service, again, we're up $700 to, excuse me, we just upped it $900 to 24 flat.
24,
You're
yeah.
there.
Wait a minute, I missed one.
No, you got it.
Service-
Internet is.
Oh, 24, yeah,
yeah.
24,
Yes,
yeah.
Vehicle insurance, we're still on the fence about that one because we don't know what their
Correct.
rate change is. Digital subscriptions, we're up to 500 from the 300.
Yep,
Again, vehicle purchase of 55,000.
Yep,
yeah.
And then we're adding the police equipment line item, correct? Of $1,000.
Wait a minute.
For,
I thought we were using police supplies
Yeah, we
and
are.
not adding an equipment line item.
Right.
No, well, hold on, again, that's what I'm trying to figure out here, cause, so police supplies, again, and that's gonna be, wait, bear with me 1 second, that's gonna be any type of repair, or excuse me, that's gonna be with, that's gonna be like taser batteries, police supplies, ammunition's a huge thing for us.
Evidence bags.
I got $1,000 out for a quote right now,
Yeah,
and so,
Yeah.
that will be police supplies.
right.
However, we have a police equipment budget, that's what we talked about initially to make sure we're on the same one.
do you have a police equipment
No,
account?
No,
and
we
again,
don't.
that was
Then
what,
when you wanna go into police equipment,
that right there would be for any type of, if we need to upgrade a weapon, or, you know, whatever it may be, for example, flashlights, or something to that effect. And the reason why it was because, like, we have the equipment, maintenance budget for like taser batteries, cause, you know, that's something totally different. That way they're a little more itemized at that point, to say, hey, here's this, for example, and I'm just gonna give you an example. This is a bad example, but it is what it is. Say, for example, that one of the guys out here working one night and is involved in a shooting or something. We don't have any more guns to give out. We can't, you know what I mean, so he can't come back to work because he didn't have a gun. Well, the state's gonna keep that gun for about a year.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the state doesn't take they take their sweet time on everything. And the only reason why I'm using that's a very horrible example. But for example, if we're out here working and a radio gets broken, where's that money coming from? We have to replace it. Or if a taser gets broken,
would that come, that's what I was thinking, police, it's all part of police supplies. Or, so, are you saying you don't have an equipment account,
no, we don't.
police equipment? See, and that's where I was saying the vests and all that stuff should be
Right.
coming from, is an equipment account.
Okay.
But then I thought you said no, but maybe I
Well,
misunderstood
then
the
what would we
conversation.
put in police supplies?
Toilet paper.
Again, the police
Yeah,
supplies
that's what I
would
was
be,
thinking.
be the evidence bags, it'll be, you know, anything
Disposable.
evidentiary purposes, it'll be bullets.
Gloves.
Gloves,
Okay,
exactly.
it's consumables.
Yes,
Yes.
consumables, ammo, stuff like that, or would ammo go into equipment?
It's consumables.
I think that would be a
That's
police supply
consumables,
budget.
yeah, yeah, alright,
Okay.
hold on.
So you want police equipment,
Yes.
add,
And like I said, that way if, you know, incidentals happen in that sense, it's like, we have to have something, obviously not necessarily wanting to use it, but.
Do you want a budget number in there?
Yes,
How much?
1,000. The cost of a weapon at this point is $600, just a weapon. And that's something I'm currently working on, is to trade out a few of those.
What'd you say, Gran?
Yes, ma'am.
what are you using? 9?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. But like I said, our ammo is at a detriment level right now.
Now, you said if an officer is involved with the shooting, that weapon is gone.
Yes, for approximately a year. When the state says, hey, you can have this back, you can have it back, but we don't have any extra. You know,
Now, are you
weapons.
saying he can't use a weapon?
No, he can use a
So you
weapon.
gotta get-
can't use that
purchase one
weapon.
back, okay,
Yep.
because they can keep it at for evidence check.
Yep.
so-
And then once it's released to us, okay, hey, we have this in here, but like I said, we can't put them back to work if they don't have a fire.
Okay, so very clearly, police supplies is only consumables.
Yes.
That's a really easy way to delineate.
Yes.
We'll enter a new general, line item for police equipment.
Equipment.
Weapons, tasers, vests,
Gun.
things that are not
Yes.
consumable.
That's exactly.
Alright, got it. Shannon's gonna love me, I tell ya.
Well, it's funny
Adding
because
an
this
account
is
is not-
Shannon's printout right here, and she had that on there, we just didn't have the number, and like I said, actually. that's-
Okay, got it, okay, that's good,
Outside of that, I'm square.
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, water,
Yeah, we have a 5-minute break to
huh?
take.
Fire, no, nothing.
If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna take off.
Do we wanna do,
Well, I
Water?
think we need to look at water.
okay,
I mean, if you would go, it's not, I mean, it's not.
You don't need me for
Well,
what?
it's only, what,
No.
4:30?
Okay.
so Councilman Norman has been is asking to be excused from the meeting. So I think,
Do I get to turn that off?
do you wanna make a motion that,
Do I have to do that?
I think so.
Can I make a motion that I can be excused, please?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
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 Opposed? None being?
See you later. I'll have those numbers to you. I'll get together with Shannon tomorrow for the yard waste.
Okay, thank
or
you.
the Meridian waste.
Just for the record, there is still a quorum.
Yeah, so, Warren shot me an email, I don't know if you saw this. He's concerned, very concerned about Jesse's salary. And I don't think we can do anything about that until
Here.
Central Pines comes back to what, we just
Give
can't,
us
we
some
can't do
guidance from there.
anything.
Yeah.
Well, we still have work to do in our budget as far as salaries go.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
And,
right.
Yeah.
and everyone's going to be considered,
Right.
and we've
Yeah.
gotta look at that.
Yeah,
Right.
so, we went through, let me get his email up, give me a second. Hold on. Sorry, I should have had that up already.
Alright, I will see you guys later.
Well, why don't we just go through this line,
Yeah.
like we did, let's
Yeah.
start with the
We
revenues.
will, but he gave me some other stuff though, and I think most of it I can remember actually. So, going through revenue, water billings, he estimated again at 230,000, okay? Water billing penalties at 1,000, and then tap-ons, I gotta look at something, there were some issues with tap-ons, cause he thinks some things got coded wrong. No, that's water meters. No, what happened was, when he did the estimate for tap-ons for 24-25, I think what they didn't realize was, a lot of those fees had already been paid, even though the tap-on hadn't been completed. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, so we dropped
because you
it,
pay it with your permit.
right, so we dropped it down to 20,000 this year. And I figure you probably know more about the tap-on fees than I do, but again, it's a question on what Lisa thinks we're gonna do for building permits.
Well, we assumed 24, didn't we, in our revenue? When we said $8,000 for permits?
Yeah, and we kinda were like, okay, and then
Or
we,
20,
and we thought that was a lot, actually, 24 new houses would be a lot.
actually, we said 20 homes. So 20 homes, because we said 8,000 is what we said for permits. So I believe a tap-on is, what, 2,900, 2,600?
No, to be honest with you.
And I know we were raising that rate, but let's say it's 2,600,
Times,
20.
20,
So we're looking at,
52,000.
It's too, I'm telling you, it's too much, I can feel it in my gut, it is too much.
Yeah.
Because we're getting burned on that this year.
I think the 20,000 might be reasonable, because now you're looking at 10.
Think that, okay?
You got it.
I mean, that's fine with me, I just thought, and I'll get some input
20,000.
from Lisa on building permits too. But 20,000, I think is what we talked them down on. I got 25,000 on interest on investment, cause year to date, they're already at 27,588,
And was that at the same percent?
same thing.
4.2.
Did
Yeah.
you do 4.2?
I did not do it on his, because I just got that number last night.
I thought, didn't you go to 3 or 3.5? I
We
think,
went 3.5.
Yeah.
4.2 to 3.5.
yeah.
$23,450.
So 23. I would put it at
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, and he's above it, that's great, whoops, wait a minute.
23,000.
Okay, so his total revenues then, if we do 23, is $374,000.
374.
Yep. Yep. And then, if you go, again, salaries aren't in there, professional services on the auditor will go to 7,250, okay? Professional services legal, we'll get that over down there. We just left that number alone based on what we had for this year. Professional services, 40,000, okay. That includes 30% from Jody, and the rest of that is what Warren thinks it's gonna take to get our water system evaluated. And again, that's coming from Central Pines is helping with us, right?
But they have not given us anything.
Well, I know, I know, that's kinda like,
Up in the air.
I'd almost like to, instead of, I can't imagine spending,
That much money.
I can't,
Well, yeah, I'm with you, trust me, I'm with you.
cause I'm not sure it would cost that much. And it depends, because we can, I'm sure we can get help from the county as well, as far as evaluations, and I know they, again, I mean, we can leave that number in there, but I'm highly skeptical of that.
Well, I'm highly skeptical of it too, because there are some other things that we need to take care of, and I don't know, when I look at it, I go, I don't think he's got the money for it, unless we take it out of his reserve.
Well, we'd have to do that.
Yeah.
Out of his unreserved, like his
Yeah,
general fund or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
his.
Yep,
So you changed the auditor to 72.5.
$72.50, yeah.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
and then we have the legal services,
1,200, professional services at 40,000. I'm sorry, 40,000 is his number, 6,200 is his share of Jody, sorry about that.
yeah,
Okay, computer services, 600, gas and oil, 25, propane, 800, and that's the propane for the well houses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Chemicals, 45,
why is it 800, isn't that a lot? I mean, granted, should it be 5, it's only a few $100s.
well, and doesn't it?
Yeah, the thing is,
That propane's very hard for me to gauge, I don't,
well, they only kick on once every couple of weeks, just to automatic come on, just to check them, make sure they're working.
Right,
So they burn a half a gallon of gas.
right,
They'll last, I've been here for 3.5 years, and I think there's still 40% of that tank.
well, they've got $183 here for this year.
it
Well,
doesn't,
they
we can
did.
move it down, it doesn't, I mean, I don't say I don't care, if you wanna go to 500,
Yeah, I would think 400 to 500 would be
let's do
fine.
5.
500.
Going.
Chemicals.
Chemicals, 45,
Mm,
and this was Jesse and Warren and Shannon and I when we sat down to do it, so.
Okay.
Office supplies at 2, shipping and freight at 2, small tools at 3, membership dues, 2,000. And that's based on whatever things we need to be a part of, is having our own water
Right.
system. Travel and meals, 500, certification fee, 200. Telephone at $1,000, postage at 65.
is that,
And I don't know,
That's,
that was done before there was any announcement by the post office that they wanted to
so
take
we
it up.
typically, you know, and there have been proposals to change the billing frequency and all that stuff, and we might wanna look at that, but
Go
right
on.
now, we're doing it monthly.
Yeah,
So
you know, if you went bi-monthly,
there's been
boy, I'll tell you what, that ain't a bad idea.
there's been some proposals that might be a good idea to not, some people have mentioned it, to not bill every month.
Do it quarterly.
I think it depends what people think about that. I think it's something there's no reason we couldn't look at it, let me put it that way. So if we say we have about 650 bills that go out, let's say 700
You
even
have more
though.
than that, 780, 775,
Is it?
yeah, it's up there.
And I know, I think postage was going up to 78 cents, I don't know what a postcard is it 65 or
Let me
something?
look, let me
Well,
just
this
look.
prorated rate right now, we'll be spending $7,000 this year.
Remember, we did this back in March, so.
Well, I'm thinking 8 months. 8 months times 12, $7,000. And that's not including a new rate, they're talking a rate increase too. Probably should go up to $8,000.
Well, I'll tell you what, that'd make me bill every other month in a flash.
I know.
Holy
Yeah,
Christmas.
it's,
Yeah, it's
I'd
still
say it's
saying
half, but
56
right there.
here.
It's 56?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 800 times 12 times 56. It's probably gonna go up to 60, but, and you're looking at $5,400. So 65 is probably a good,
Yeah,
for now, but
yeah,
I
you know
think we
what,
should.
that bi-monthly billing, might be all over that. Well, I talked to Lisa and, what should do there?
I think the big concern might be, you know, the rental properties, but again, I still think we should be billing the owners and not the renters, but that's just my opinion.
Well, typically, in the rentals I've had, they bill the owners, I'm sorry, no, they bill the tenants, but you as the owner
Are
are
responsible.
ultimately responsible. Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
had somebody hit me and they moved out and they
Yeah.
didn't pay that, and I ended up paying it,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so 65 is good?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. We've got utilities at 18,000, and that also includes all the well houses, okay? We have printing at 3,000, and that would, and again, if we did a bi-monthly billing, and you know, with our water rate only being 24 on the minimum, I mean, if somebody sent me a bill every 2 months for my water, it was $50, that is really not a big deal.
No,
Mhm.
That is not a big
No.
deal.
Right,
That's a good idea. Okay, office furniture, we have 0. New water meters, we have 25,000, and this is one category where there was they really underestimated this year. And so, we kinda asked Jesse about it, and he just said, you know, they break, and they more broke, and,
well, plus, that's why they're upping their rates too, because the components,
went up,
have gone up significantly, yeah.
okay? Water tower maintenance is 27,800, that's by contract.
yep, yep.
Vehicle maintenance, we have 500. Maintenance and repair, 25,000. And that's, hang on a second. Let me see, hang on. I'm trying to think what that was, cause that's a pretty significant number.
Yeah, and I thought they were putting that all to the individual wells.
Hang on a second.
They should.
Well, hang on. 259. Oh, we use that to pay Bruce, and it's kind of a catch-all for everything else.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, when
Because he goes-
he's
when-
repairing,
That's him, cause he does all that for
if
us.
he's,
Yeah.
right, if he's
Yeah.
doing water
Yeah.
line repairs.
Yeah.
Yep,
Does it all.
so that probably needs to stay right there, because we did assign amounts specific to wells.
Yes.
Okay, alright, so infrastructure, we went to 5,000. Internet service, I guess we took that to 0. Cause they don't really, I mean, Jesse uses our internet, I mean, that's all, we're not gonna split that out, are we?
Yeah,
No, let's not do that.
It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
No, a computer contract, 2,200. Water meter service, nothing. Badger meter service, Jesse was gonna check something on that, where's Badger?
We basically have to pay them a certain amount every month.
Yeah,
As
and I
like a
think
subscription
it
fee,
is
yeah.
like a subscription, so, we left 3,800 in there, okay? Property insurance and vehicle insurance, that's we get with Lisa.
Same thing with public officers insurance.
Yep. Hang on 1 second. Get that in there. Okay, and then, yeah, that's another one for Lisa. Okay. Account number 456, where it says Woodland and Wildwood Lanes, that's actually for well number 6. That's
I
what
thought 6 was by the pool.
6 is by the pool.
Well, 6 might be by the pool, but where it has Woodland and Wildwood, they're telling me that that account really is supposed to be for well number 6.
Yeah, Richmond and Hoffman.
That, what I would do is I would just do a new account for well number 6
Yeah,
and put the money in, well, don't do that. I wouldn't do that. I don't know.
but see, this year we put 20,000 in there. And
Well, they are rehabbing it and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
they put 20 grand in, but they didn't spend, or if they have spent anything, they haven't paid any bills yet. Cause I know they're very close to getting that up and running. But I would take that money
and move it.
and move it into a new account if it is truly for number 6.
Yeah, they were pretty adamant about it.
Yeah,
Okay, so, 457, well number 10 drops to 2,500.
Mhm.
Well number 5 drops to 2,500. Well number 11 drops to 2,500.
Well, number 8,
Oh, number 8, I'm sorry, they're all,
Yeah.
2,500. 11's 2,500, 7 is 2,500, 4 is 2,500, okay?
so they've basically gotten,
Pretty much, we just took them all down to
Yeah.
2,500.
and they did a lot of maintenance on
They did
them.
a lot of maintenance,
Yeah.
yeah. New well testing is in here at 15,000,
Mhm.
and I believe that is for seeing if we can get another well in the same land that we're putting one in.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Alright. New well construction, obviously, we still have money, that money's gotta roll over, doesn't it?
Does
it-
ask
it's your-
Jody,
I gotta
ask
ask
Jody
you,
how,
is
to-
it-
because we've
It's a
spent some
capital-
of
And
it.
it's a capital project account.
It is capital project.
Mhm.
Ask Jody how to do that, because there is a very specific way that you do that, because you're not rolling over the whole 223, you're gonna roll over, I think, the balance that's left as income, because you don't have that in the income.
No, exactly.
And
We
you need
don't.
to add that in.
Yep. Okay, testing at 4,000, no vehicle purchase, nothing like that. So I'll make those adjustments.
That's the end of that page.
Yeah, but Warren wants to move 85,000, I gotta find that email. 85,000 into, I think it's New Well. Where the heck did that go?
You mean into reserves?
Yeah.
Well, if he has it,
We can do it, I mean, he's got money in reserves.
or if he's got money in his general fund, basically. you know, in his-
Yeah,
In
correct.
his unreserved
Yeah.
funds, we should pump
So
up
here's-
that new
here's
well
what it is.
reserve.
I've reviewed and made some suggested changes. account number 110, he wants to add 20,000 to contingency. 390, add 200 to training. 681, add 85,000 to new well construction. And that would be the second well on that 5 acres. Can we do a new well for 85,000?
No,
No way, about 4 times that, 3 times that,
probably 250.
yeah.
Well,
Because they don't need a new well pump.
all they need to do, what they need to do is drill,
Yeah.
is what they need. Well, first they have to do a test well, so
Yes,
maybe
yeah.
so they have to do the test.
This is new well construction,
Yeah,
very
I-
specific.
Yeah, and they don't have to, all they have to do is pipe it into
The new
the
well.
house that they just.
Exactly,
The
so-
well, so it's less expensive, but I don't know if
I
it's
don't know,
that cost.
85,000.
I
Well, they
don't
wouldn't
know.
have to pipe it out to Hoffman Road and tap in either, because
No.
we already tapped in.
He's gotta go into the well house is where he's gotta
That's
go.
it, yeah. Could be 100 feet, could be 200, 300 feet.
Wherever
Yeah,
they could find it on the property.
But it should be a lot less.
You know, there's another site where across from Grand Pines, they have a well, and I'm wondering, I don't know how much property we own there,
Yeah,
but if we've got an acre there, it might be worth looking there for another well site in addition too, but regardless,
but if we can find one on the 5 acres that
Oh,
we
that's
have,
definitely-
that would be a big
but
number.
I'm saying
Yeah.
we should look in both
Yeah,
places,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
I didn't think you could have them that close together, but apparently you can. If the water, as long as the water's there. What I would do is I would just put it into a new well reserve, and then
Yeah.
as things present themselves, we can always do a budget amendment and move it.
Yeah,
But we should probably at least put 100, if he's got money in his general fund, which I know he does.
yeah, he's got,
Um,
I don't know where I buried those
We should
statements, but
probably
he's got
put-
667,000 maybe?
we should probably put 100 into new well reserves, transfer to, capital well reserve.
Okay, so we're saying transfer to capital reserve wells, 100,000.
Right, and I don't think he's got enough does he have enough surplus revenue?
No, he doesn't have
Right,
much.
so we're gonna have to take it from the,
Not much.
from his unreserved funds.
I'm hoping that maybe the water billings will be a little higher than he's got them.
Oh, you know what, no, we wanna put it into the future wells. He's got,
Gotcha.
that's where we wanna
Got
put
it,
it.
got it, got it, yep.
And there is money in there now, it looks like there is, but at least there should be.
I got too many sheets. Okay. So I think that would be it.
Okay,
So next Tuesday, when we do our council meeting,
Mhm.
I really think that hopefully, Central Pines has something to us.
she indicated in that email, that I haven't gone through completely, that, that was coming next.
Yeah. But they've been saying that for a couple, 2 weeks.
Right.
And that's not, I'm sure they have lots of people this time of year who are asking them.
I thought that, cause so many people are going through salary changes too, so,
Yep, we also, and I don't think we'll need to do this, but remember, the county's coming down a penny and a half.
Tax basis.
So we needed to, you know, I don't know that we wanna consider that, we ought to be okay, but if we were gonna do something like that. this would-
reduce our rate?
No, increase our
county's-
rate.
Oh, increase our rate.
Increase our rate, because the county's taking their rate down, so it would be a wash to us, basically.
Well, let's see how it works out.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd hate to do that.
I don't really wanna do it either.
No,
You know,
no,
I'd rather
yeah.
go through the expenditures again and make sure that
Yeah.
we're doing the right
Oh, yeah.
thing
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
I
because we're
raise.
gonna have to, we're gonna have
Oh.
to assign some reserves.
Well, yeah, we haven't done reserves
Yeah.
either, and we need to keep that employee compensation set aside, funded. And then we need to fund the streets and capital projects
Yep, let me look at this other thing.
and fire. But just
Yeah.
remember with the fire too, is that when they, down the road, when they buy those large pieces of equipment, it's usually on a 20-year note.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
And we're,
yeah.
at best, and I don't even think we can assume 25% of that liability, because we don't have the tax base. They should do it based on tax base, not percentage of funding.
Yeah, but.
Because I just don't think, you know, again, their tax base is so different than ours.
When you get into the whole discussion of, how much are they really here? What kind of mechanism are we gonna have in place for the fact that we don't think they're here all the time, you know? It's just, the further down the road we go with them, the more complicated it's gonna get.
We have to make it pretty, I'd like to make it more simple and just have more language in that contract that we understand exactly what we're getting and exactly what we're paying for. Because when you look at their audited financials,
Yeah.
which is what, moving forward, we have to go by audited
That's
financials.
okay. Remember when you said that to Pacerno back here in that meeting, you said that's a great idea? Well, that's how they found the extra personnel money.
Yeah.
And that's how they found the double on the workman's comp.
Yeah,
So I don't know, it is a budget item, so on the fire department, do we want, either you or you and I get with Eric and Wayne Best? Yeah, I know you were thank you for that.
we've been so involved with at
Well,
the county
yeah.
level.
And that's fine, I just wonder if we don't need to sit down with them and go, hey, look,
Well, we need to sit down with Eric and have a meeting with Eric, so I don't know if you wanna reach out to him and
I
say,
can.
let's get together, cause it's your schedule between you and him, it's
Yeah.
gonna have to be in the evening.
Yeah.
For the two
or
of you.
Tuesday or Friday.
But I think he works.
He works. But I think we need to show them their audited financials and say, look, we're not here to fund you beyond your expenses. I mean, we can hold money in reserve, but then we're gonna hold that money and we're gonna make the interest on the money, not give it over there.
Right, right.
It'd be interesting to see what kind of a tax base they're getting out of their district, how much money they're getting out of their portion of the taxes. And
Well, the county has changed the whole thing, it's not the straight.
It's not a
It's-
straight, they use 8.75.
No, I'm not talking about percentage, what the total valuation in that, the district that they're getting their funds from, like we're getting, our valuation is what?
Oh, you mean our property valuation,
Property,
okay,
yeah.
343,300,000.
That's what we are. Be
Right.
interested to see how much they get on their side.
Why, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the numbers are available, but I'm not sure what they are, but they're not getting it based on the tax, they're not billing based on that anymore, they're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
money from.
Actual
That was the old
expenses.
way, but I'm just saying, let's say that their evaluation is 4 million and we're 1 million, we should only pay 25% of the entire operation.
Well, and that's kind of we'll see what happens is that
It
the
really
county
goes-
funds,
It goes by call volume.
the county is still funding 75%.
Well, yeah, you take that off from the top and then you still go 25% to their,
Well, they should only get what they get.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you know, so if the county is funding 75% of their expenses, then, and we're 27% of their calls, it makes sense that we're paying not more than 27% of their expenses.
Yeah, and you see, here's the thing, then they're gonna bring up, well, then we can't give you 24/7 coverage,
Never
and I
did.
don't understand that. I mean, when West End gets funded, they're funded 24/7, we're funded 24/7.
Yeah.
So I always have a disconnect when they say, well, then we can't give you 24/7 service, I don't get that.
But you know what? They aren't giving us 24,
No, I know.
even
I know.
though,
it's about half.
But I think when you look at the operating expenses, we pay, if we're 25% of the calls, we pay 25% of the operating expenses. If there's a capital set aside, then we would set aside in our public safety reserve 25, you know, whatever that, our 25% was divided by 20 years, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 a year. And then when that stuff, but we hold the reserves, I'm not giving them reserves.
no,
And there's no reason for us to fund their contingency fund either.
no.
Okay, take a breath, Mary.
Okay, are we,
We're done, unless you guys got questions, I think we're as done as we're gonna be
I'm gonna
today.
motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
I
Aye. Opposed? None being?
adjourn.
Meeting adjourned at 4:55.